out of anarchy, frustration, out of trying to stand for something you believe in. The battle lines have been drawn in the city that rocks as Cleveland, Ohio tonight will receive Rebellion. And this is TNA Wrestling's Rebellion. And this is Cindy predicting, and I actually counted, episode number 168. Welcome, everyone, into the conversation. Let's do this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back in here once again to Simply Predicting. You know what this is, for I am the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of SBS for a great football Hall of Fame professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noah Foster. So thank you all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat or PayPal of passions, it's as simple as that. The form is already now live on my social media using the hashtag @Foster1916, NoDQ Galaxy, and of course TNA Rebellion. And of course, you also will find the forum once the stream concludes, and all the comment section of each of the respective channels that are presenting this to you, as well as my community tab. And you will have until 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight to submit them. That is your deadline. Let's go around the horn and introduce today's panel, as we got a nine matches to bring forward to you on this discussion. First and foremost, you are literally looking at the two that are going to take in all the sites from the City of Sin and have already listed their itinerary verbatim. It is great to have once again back here Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz at Rage of Wrestling. Subscribe today. Walter, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to next week. Got the business cards done, so ready to hand these out. Get people, hopefully more people on the interviews and things. And I'm looking forward to Rebellion.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a who's who up and down and all around, and some names to, of course, come forward from a legend standpoint. Then we're going to go into the realm and see if the money gets
I
one
need,
step
I need,
closer
I
to being
need
live.
TNA to pull it off because, to be honest, between losing so many titles to NXT, they've been kind of losing my interest, and I don't want to get to the point where you got pissed off and started saying it's not my TNA. So I'm hoping
Well,
this PLE puts it back in the positive light.
Well, actually, it's a pay-per-view, as you know, and of course, folks, you want to watch this, the only way you can watch it is literally purchase it through the TNA Plus service. You don't have to be a TNA Plus subscriber either to witness it, but it is $40. This is an actual pay-per-view. It's one of the big four pay-per-views, as you have four of the biggest characters, personalities, and members of the City community and Simple Apple Studios here with you on the predicting here. Speaking of which, thank you for that, Walter, and I will always remain TNA faithful, even under its darkest light. If I can survive Immortal, I can survive that before becoming a WWE acquisition, which seems more apparent than ever considering Danny Luna left the nest. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. Maybe you'll find out more on shenanigans. Stay tuned for more on that later. That being said, when it comes to thinking of itineraries, promoting, and discussing everything we do here at the Simple Alba Studios, it would not be City Predicting, and it would not be a foundation that we have built without Cassie 80 Studio CEO and the Renegade Wrestling himself, who will be joining Walter Cruz on all the festivities live during the time in the City of Sin all week long during WrestleMania week, taking in all the wrestling. The Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ, how are you, man? You're on the precipice of the craziest live ongoing wrestling experience of your life. But before we get there, here's to Rebellion tonight. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I don't have the disdain in my mouth that some people do towards the current TNA product with the NXT insurgent, invasion, takeover, whatever you want to call it. You know, if we're being real, some of the people in NXT that have held TNA titles probably weren't going to get NXT titles. So it's just one of those things where it's like, let's throw them a bone here somewhere. But I'm really curious, as you pointed out, to see when the payoff comes from this Undead Realm thing that's going on, because that is one of my highlights of the week, is watching those videos.
Yes.
Because for me, it's sheer cinema. And I know that phrase gets thrown around a lot. It's cinema. It's cinema. It's cinematic.
Cinema, damn it.
But the way they're shooting everything is very eye-catching to me.
As a moviegoer.
Even if it didn't have to do with your favorite Canadian, there's still something about the story development and the 7 sins to be able to release, and all the characters that are coming back and being a part of this.
Yes.
From Johnny Sweener to Father James Mitchell to the Monster Abyss.
I believe that happened on Thursday night.
And the current stars that are getting messed up in this, Mara Sade and Tessa Blanchard and Mila Moore. It's like, are they going to be sacrificed?
Please.
In order for the bunny to rise and live again?
Please.
I could see, no disrespect intended, but I could see a Mila Moore being sacrificed. I don't know if I could see a Tessa Blanchard being sacrificed.
Victoria Crawford. Victoria Crawford's more than enough.
Yeah, there's a couple of characters like I could see using this as a way to like write them off of television in order to resurrect. And then there's other characters that are involved in this that I'm like, but I can't see them being lost to all of this. Like I said, like a Tessa, like a Mara Sade. Like Mara Sade is doing leaps and bounds exponentially things better than she did as part of the metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why would you sacrifice and get her off of TV? So I'm just curious to see how the payoff of all of this goes and when we get the culmination. Does it happen at Rebellion? Does it happen at the May pay-per-view? Do they somehow string this all along until Slammiversary? God, I hope not. While I am a fan of long-term storytelling, I feel like trying to push it for 3 more months is overkill.
Mm-hmm.
Next month, latest, has to come to an end, if not tonight at Rebellion. And shout out to Dev in the chat. I am feeling quite elegant today, good sir. I know this man, despite his dapper attire, hates everything elegant. But that's neither here nor there. It's good to see you in the chat, brother.
Good to see you. We'll talk more about that later. And also, thank you, JJ, for that long diatribe on following the White Rabbit, as I have been following the bunny on this escapade with her and the demon. As I wait
and Rosemary and Allie will both be part of WrestleCon. Maybe Walter and I can get a picture with Demon Bunny together.
I wouldn't mind you all do that. Enjoy yourselves. Okay, that being said, thank you, JJ. Sorry about that, folks. A little sub-tangent. Okay, it's not a match, but it's more worthwhile than most of the matches on this card, in my opinion. Yes, I'm biased. Deal with it.
I know he cares about that more than he cares about the Knockouts title match.
Damn fucking right. Anyway, sorry. Not sorry. That being said, 2 more people that I need to do is first and foremost, again, he's here during daylight. Ain't that nice? And shout out to, a Bali man. Appreciate you, brother. Pop? What's up? Thank you so much. Shout out to Senior Renegade. That being said, also shout out to Charles Schultz. Always great having him here to lend his voice. Charles, how you feeling about Rebellion?
I'm feeling good, but I'm more curious about what is certain somebody announced his return on the show gonna do.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and we might put that into perspective a little bit later. Anyway, thank you for that. And again, always keeping it simple. And last but certainly not least, as his sister continues pursuing higher education, God bless her and all that forward. I hope she gets to us for maybe WrestleMania, so we did think. It's one half of Dominguez. Emmanuel, for interactive games and movies, subscribe today. Emmanuel, how are you?
Oh, doing good. Like that sardine from the background. I'm not sure if you heard that.
I did briefly hear that.
But yeah, anyways, it's gonna be an interesting pay-per-view, interesting outcomes. But yeah, TNA needs to pick it up, and they need to hire more women from the Knockouts. There's heavy-sided heels than faces right now, and you keep losing the ladies to either WWE or AEW, and my fear is that just what are they gonna do? Like they need to really pick up the interest for these couple of next pay-per-views in the whole entire year, or we might see TNA die out sadly, and it's not something we want. It's not something we need, but hopefully it will survive. But right now, it's not looking good in my opinion. But hopefully, it'll keep its momentum. Hopefully.
Yeah, again, it's a different light, especially when you're on the movie network AMC, where we have the most cinematic bit of TNA actually being the most compelling, even for me as a professional wrestling fan, because my favorite wrestler might resuscitate back to life. But nonetheless, I do see what you mean. It's a different aspect, and I do think there's a lot of young potential here, and they need to cultivate more on that than the inside brewing, because that star power isn't there, much like New Japan is relying on the next generation. JJ, I do see your hammer before we get into things. What do you got to say real quick?
I laugh, well, not in a mocking way, but I laugh at Emmanuel and his TNA gonna die comments.
You and me both.
TNA is one of the three things that'll survive a nuclear holocaust.
He might be right with that. I didn't go
Okay,
that
it's
far.
cockroaches, Twinkies, and TNA. Because quite literally, TNA has survived the Jeff Jarrett reign of terrors. They've survived the Russo administration. They've survived the Jeff Hardy Steen match. They survived the Hogan and Bischoff era.
Brother.
They survived,
channel
all
jumping.
the channels that they hopped back and forth across.
Destination America.
Access.
Then they sat on Access for a long time. They survived Jim Cornette being back. They survived the Global Force entourage with WJ Jeff Jarrett. TNA is the one place
here.
They are the cockroaches of the wrestling world.
Yeah, but
some people would say that's the National Wrestling Alliance, because how many times has that died and been resurrected?
That's true, but Billy Corgan somehow he keeps alive. There's no different card. And Billy Corgan was once also involved there, so was MVP, and Dixie Carter and MVP had a power struggle. We also, of course, had the Renaissance period with Scott D'Amore and freaking Don Callis and Josh Matthews at the helm. And some people would argue that was one of the better eras, actually, considering what it led to bring it back above my head. But again, whole different conversation. If you want to hear more on the history of TNA, the rise, the fall, the continuation, are they on life support? Stay tuned when we talk about the state of TNA in the near future. If we survive to talk about its anniversary. Yes, we will, folks. But I do, again, as soon as he said that, I knew Jada was going to ping in, because this guy's been TNA faithful since day one-ish, if you know he has the original X Division Championship. And while we spent the first 15 minutes talking about the outlook of TNA and our favorite saga of Demon X Bunny, I know we got a lot of matches to get into. So without further ado, like I said, I'm always going to stay true to being TNA faithful, even if it's to a very small percentage of actual faithfulness nowadays. But without further ado, City community, TNA faithful, new and old, casuals, hardcores, spectators, enthusiasts, and professional wrestling ongoers too. Let's get into it. So again, this is TNA's second of their big four pay-per-views of the calendar year. It is also the second official TNA pay-per-view of the AMC era. Let's call it what it is. But yes, this is TNA Rebellion, and it comes to us from Cleveland, Ohio, my neck of the woods, my state, Ohio. And of course, we have 9 matches, and we are only focusing on the main card here, as we are doing verbatim across all leagues, staying very specific. We got 9 matches on 10. We're going to kick things off, of course, with, as I just talked about, JJ and the cornerstone of TNA, because when it comes to no matter what era, there's one thing that has thankfully remain consistent, at least on a pay-per-view basis when it's being defended. You top that shit when it comes to the division defined by no limits and the cornerstone of TNA wrestling, then, now, and I pray to God, forever. Let's talk about the X Division Championship, as the youngest in charge, who's held this gold since Slammiversary after beating Moose. He will defend it now against the System. The System's Cedric Alexander. Of course, this is actually a rematch, as we know. Cedric Alexander previously faced Leon Slater in the very young start of his run as the TNA X Division champion, and he lost. Now, Cedric Alexander is part of System 3.0 underneath Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and Barrett Bronson. Might I add, all 4 members of the system are in action tonight. We literally might see the system take over TNA again. System in full control. Good grief almighty. But nonetheless, Cedric Alexander, he tried to assault the X Division champion and the TNA World champion this past Thursday on TNA Impact during Mike Santana and Eddie Edwards' contract signing. Didn't get much out of it, though, as Leon Slater was able to fend off Cedric and Eddie Edwards and stand alongside Mike Santana. There is tremendous respect between both the TNA X and TNA World champion. However, because he is the X Division champion, let's not forget, and even Mike Santana knows this in the back of his head, and he welcomes it. Probably more from this guy than the other person that I don't think is going to cash in. That's why it's not a bonus question, because he's also in action against somebody else that I care 2 shits about. But we'll talk more about that maybe after this. But nonetheless, Cedric Alexander is now trying to bring gold to the system. He's also trying to be the cornerstone of the X Division. As Leon Slater has defended this title in and out of TNA against TNA Originals, former TNA X Division champions, also, might I add. You got to consider if Leon Slater continues to hold on to this gold, and we still have the current regime of real TNA World champions, could we be on the verge of Leon Slater using option C? Would the system use that to their own benefit, even against one of their own? Let's go around the horn and see what you all think after this long period of time. He's been champion since last year, July, if Leon Slater has met his match. We are going to start with JJ, and based on the size of the panel, everyone will get to say their piece on each of these matches, because I do think we got a lot to say regarding several of these matches, especially when it comes to the actual championships of TNA. Hi, JJ, who still has the original X Division championship, by the way, somewhere inside your casino closet. What do you think about Leon Slater's run as X Division champion this year, particularly the fact he's finally defending it again? I don't think he's defended it actually since literally February. And do you think that Cedric Alexander, now part of the system, does the system work, or does the youngest in charge stay in charge of the X Division? What do you think?
I'm really torn here. And I know that probably surprises some people. On the one hand, I don't see Leon losing it until Slammiversary minimal.
So 1 year later?
However, this is a new system. And if this new system is going to begin to assert its dominance, it needs to start taking over the ranks. Cedric Alexander is long overdue for singles gold.
Accurate.
So it would not surprise me to see him walk out of this with that title, especially much as we're known for on Saturdays, and we've been seeming to be known for quite a bit throughout the weeks here recently.
Pretty much.
Shenanigans. This isn't, the Continental Championship where there's no seconds at ringside.
That's right.
The entire system can get involved on Cedric's behalf. Who does Leon have?
Nobody.
He's got allies, but a lot of them are preoccupied. And we also don't know where this match will fall. Traditionally, the X Division is a kickoff. But ever since the new championship came into play, which Trey Miguel has, smoke him if you got him, that is occasionally substituted as the kickoff, putting the X Division title more in a prominent showcase mid-show.
Yeah, and that also is on the line here.
So we're not really sure where this will fall in the grand scheme of things. Will Leon's allies be healthy? Will they be battered and bruised and defeated in their own right? Will they be preoccupied and unable to assist if the system sticks their nose where it doesn't belong? All these things play into this. But gun to my head, $100 on the bookies table in Las Vegas, I'm finding some way that Leon comes out of this still champ.
All right, then. So he's got Leon Slater retaining. And by the way, folks, this will be Leon Slater's 12th defense. And again, this is how much this TNA era is a blur. He did defend it last month at Sacrifice against Eric Yǐng after being pile driven on his head. With wins over Eric Yǐng, Nic Nemeth, Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, as I said earlier. He's been involved in HOG, Wrestling Revolver, and freaking NXT. Even against freaking Terry Lorenzo. He's had quite a strong run here, and he has currently been the FC champion now for 265 days, to put in perspective. Either way, the battle's been set to retainment. And I'm just going to go literally around the horn here clockwise and say, I agree. At this point, I get it's a new system, but not every new version is better than the previous. Hello, Windows Vista. But nonetheless, I feel like Cedric Alexander right now, I just don't think he's going to get it. I think there's still too much stock in Leon Slater and the aspect of him putting in option C to challenge for the TNA World Championship, especially with Daria Ray's influence lately in his ear, who brought that up in the first place. And with how much Leon Slater and Mike Stan both have been tied together to represent TNA, to grow through TNA, and to support one another, including tagging together at No Surrender, lest you forget. I think Leon Slater still has more to offer as the youngest in charge of the X Division, but I do think that changes later and sooner than rather than later. But I don't think tonight. I also got Leon Slater retaining. Walter, what do you think here? So Alexander has not been the heart and soul of anything since 205 Live, but could he possibly be the next cornerstone of the X Division here in TNA Wrestling, thanks to the system backing them up, despite the fact, much to what I talked about earlier, the rest of the system is occupied too, so I don't know whether or not they would get involved, considering all their occupations are for championship gold. So do you think that Alexander, no matter the order of the card, do you think is the first one to fumble or the first one to bring an upgrade to the system when it comes to power leverage?
I'm with Jade in terms of, I'm torn with this one because everybody's got to lose the title eventually. He's had this title for a while. And Cedric is overdue. And plus, the system has just been rebuilt without Moose. So what better way to show that they should be taken serious than they start winning titles? They got a shot at the tag titles, and they got a shot at this X Division title. So is he the start of the new upgrade? You know, did Windows do a download and do an upgrade? Because you know how they are. They constantly have to do upgrades to get the system to work correctly. So
Accurate.
I somehow still feel Leon's going to pull this out. It may not be a fresh, clean 1, 2, 3. It could be a DQ or something which earns a rematch, and then Cedric can officially win it later on. But this is one of the big four. So if you're going to do title switches, this is the pay-per-view you want to start it on. But I don't know. I just got a gut feeling that Leon's going to pull this out. I think TNA's all in with Leon. I honestly, before AJ retired, I was hoping Leon would have defended this title against him. But we'll see. I'm going to go officially with Leon. But I wouldn't, you can't color me shocked if Cedric comes away with it.
Especially with TNA, no matter what era, has shown how unpredictable it can be when it comes to a championship. Fair enough. We got 3 online slayers. And shout out, by the way, to the 14 of you that have filled out the form so far, including that limited to Cleaver, Con Andrew, Jeff Chadwick, Dave, who's in the chat. Hello, Dave. Wayne Atkinson, Kinkieta, Joshi, and Charlene, amongst others. And right now, Charles, majority right now are with the youngest in charge. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, 66% versus 33% in favor of Leon Slater retaining. So are we currently following the common trend here? Do you agree with everybody so far that Leon Slater will still win and leave with the gold?
No.
What?
I expect Cedric to win the title.
Someone.
Otherwise, what's the point of reforming, rebuilding this new system if they're just going to fail? That's how it is. I'm going with Cedric.
All right. Fair enough. Well, I'm surprised that he did, because I figured Amanda will be the first one to do it, and I feel like card's going to be played here at some point. earlier rather than later. That being said, Emmanuel, you go ahead and finish this thing out. I guess it's not going to be unanimous. So maybe it's going to be 3-2. But what do you think of Leon Slater's current run in TNA as the champion? Has it ran its course? Are we just bidding him a fine adieu? That seems to be the trend lately in TNA wrestling. I don't know what's going on here. But nonetheless, the different comes another day. Do you got Leon Slater retaining?
You call it, no. I mean, I was gonna pick Cedric Alexander to win this title. To be honest, I think we could have a system overtake over the TNA landscape for this pay-per-view. I really think so. Like Charles said it best. Like, there's a reason why they kept the system going. Like why he's this heel turn just for it to fail. Like, for me, like, Leon Slater being pulled out for that match against Ricochet tells me two things. Like, either A, he's going to WWE, like what other people have been mentioning, or B, like, I just see a good future in him, and they don't want their champion to look bad. Like who knows how they're going to book things. Let's say, for example, Ricochet was going to be Leon, and then MJF was going to be, who was he facing?
What's up?
MJF. Who was he facing? Oh, Dolph Ziggler.
Yes,
Nic
Nic Nemeth.
Yeah, Nic Nemeth. And both get loose. Like, and we really don't need that action exposure that TNA is beneath AEW. So, for me, what makes sense is, I hope I'm right about this Cedric match. He gets the title and let the system overtake TNA, but there's I'm 51, Cedric 49. Yeah, Leon. Yeah, that's how close it is. Like, I got to be honest, because at right now you need to, like, if Leon's there is the face of TNA, like, you gotta keep him. You gotta make him strong. You gotta have to build him up for the TNA World Championship eventually. So I could see both ways. So if he wins, if Leon's there wins, it won't surprise me, because they're building him up for that year and making it the face of TNA, and see where it goes. But if he loses, I think he's going to go to be honest. But at this point, I got no idea what his plans are and what the future has for him. But that's my guess. Hopefully, Cedric Alexander wins this title.
All right, fair enough. Again, it is the second chance, but we've also learned many a times in the wrestling business, third time's the charm. To think, last year, a certain person that's also part of this family was witnessing this live, her own Mighty Morphin Pink Parmesan Datilla, who was also handling education pursuits. All the best to her. God bless her. Follow her, folks. Fans of wrestling. This was a friggin' X Division Ultimate X match. Leon Slater nearly killed himself doing a Swanton Fall 50 off the damn trust. And now he's just defending in a singles match against Cedric Alexander. We know how far Cedric can go. I'm also very curious, though. I know we're focusing on the system. Let's not forget at Sacrifice, there was a deal made with the Order 4, and Ali, do you still trust, when it came to Eddie Edwards' pursuits of using Special Agent Zero for insurance against Moose, and whether or not Eddie Edwards, when he gets the TNA World Championship, keyword win, or if Mustafa Ali is first in line to go after it. So I almost wonder, okay, the system's busy. Maybe a couple of great hands could be on standby who aren't involved in this card. I'm just saying, So just some food for thought, but I still think Leon Slater is going to retain. Okay, well, that was nice and simple. Now let's go ahead, since we're talking about Cleveland, Ohio, and you just brought up Nic Nemeth, and we'll start with Emmanuel here. Let's talk about the hometown boy, not the hometown man. Let's talk about Nic Nemeth versus AJ Francis, flop dollar. The reason this is happening, folks, is AJ Francis, you all were wondering, why didn't Nic Nemeth call his shot at Sacrifice? Guess what? That flop assaulted him, and apparently some sort of Cleveland quarterback, I guess, is going to be in Nic Nemeth's corner. which is kind of ironic considering the Cleveland Browns have never appeared in a Super Bowl. And apparently the last championship they won was in 1964. If you know, you know, folks. I did a little bit of research before starting this because Lord knows we're in Cleveland, Ohio, and sports is not the forte since LeBron James left the Cavaliers. You know what I'm saying? That being said, sorry, not sorry. I'm Toledo. Can't say anything against me. Nic Nemeth is looking for revenge, going one-on-one against AJ, and apparently there will be some sort of a quarterback dude, I guess, in his corner. Legendary Cleveland Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar, whatever that means. So straight up, folks, it's a grudge match. I don't have much more to say here. So the bottom line, does Cleveland get a victory? Boy, did that sound hollow when I said it. In this wrestling match for one of the best collegiate amateur wrestlers from Kent State coming home to Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. As brief as possible, please. It's not a freaking, tail end defense team, whatever AJ Francis used to play with versus this quarterback, by the way. But usually when you have someone in your corner, that's an Achilles heel to the opponent. Just saying. Emmanuel, please make this as brief and simple as possible. Nic Nemeth versus Flop Dollar. Who do you got?
Nic Nemeth, but as you were saying, the quarterback, who? I never heard that name before. I'm like, who is he? Why does this guy matter to me? Unless you're a hardcore football fan that you know.
He's a legend of Cleveland Browns, apparently, I guess. I don't know.
So, but yeah, like Nic Nemeth needs to win this. I think there's no discussion with this. He has the cup. Why would you make him lose just to make AJ Francis to look good and be in the title contention? But it's heel business heel. So this makes no sense.
That's true, actually. So. Technically, that's actually true. I didn't even think about that.
So this does not make sense. So Nic Nemeth right now.
And look, I will say this, since we've entered the AMC era, I feel like this should just be literally a vote to see if someone disagrees, because I don't think no one's going to disagree. Since we've gone to AMC, celebrities and sports people have been much more prevalent in this era of TNA. Let's not forget, Teddy Swims came out, and I'm pretty sure he has far more credibility than the Cleveland Browns as a whole, with Trey Miguel, and no, I'm not singing anything by him. There was some other sports person, Atlanta Falcons, that's it. The Atlanta Falcons helped Moose against the System and Bear Bronson prior to sacrifice. So the hometown man was representing the New Orleans Saints, which I think have a better record in the NFL than the Cleveland Browns. I don't freaking know. I don't watch football, folks. For more on that, go to Statboy Sports Bar, all right? Statboy approved. But yeah, seriously, are we really going to talk about this match at a pay-per-view? Seriously. If we're not saying Nic Nemeth in Cleveland, where Cleveland barely gets victories as it is, what are we doing with a guy that could be a future TNA World Champion again, to your point, could call his shot? And yes, folks, I didn't make it a bonus question because he's involved in this card, so why the hell would I think about it at this point? Like, seriously, if Aiden's going to saw him before, what makes you think what makes you think Flop is going to flop over him again to make sure he doesn't call a shot again? Biggest giant crybaby face big man in this roster. Nic Nemeth wins. Moving on. Oh wait, other people gotta speak. All right. So the battle's now open for two Nic Nemeth. Does anyone want to say anything or have anything different before we move on? Go ahead. Damn you, AJ. I also will say 80%. It's not unanimous. You all are fucking idiots. 80% went with Nic Nemeth. Somehow 3 people went for Flop Dollar. I guess they want to be part of that penthouse, which is cheaper than a seat in coach class. Go ahead, JJ. Speak real quick on this before we move on. I don't think anyone else has anything to say because I didn't see no hands, but you did. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, okay, so I believe I picked Nic Nemeth on the official form, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that. But I just wanted to touch on something that Emmanuel brought up.
Go for it.
Because he mentioned the whole having Nic Nemeth lose when he's got the call your shot.
Yes.
How many Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Banks have we seen that have gone on a losing streak after winning said briefcase?
Yes.
Until they cashed in said briefcase to become champion.
And more than I can count.
So Nic Nemeth losing in his hometown to AJ Francis is not out of the realm of possibility, especially if TNA is as seeped in WWE as everybody wants to say it is. I mean, Bayley lost in San Jose yesterday. Bayley lost in her hometown. It's not beyond the realm of possibility, especially when we're talking about a show with an undead realm, to have Nic Nemeth lose here.
Fair enough. I'll give you that.
And you know, I just had to bring it back to the sports comments. So what you're telling me is the Browns, the Toronto Maple Leafs have actually won a championship more recently than the Cleveland Browns have.
Damn it! Yes.
And
Damn.
before LeBron James brought a championship to the Cavaliers, I think the last time a Cleveland team was relevant,
Oh no.
Rick Wildthane Vaughn was on the pitcher's mound.
Yeah. The only time the Browns make it to any bowl is when each of us take a shit.
Damn.
That's why we call it taking the Browns to the Super Bowl, because it's the only way they get there.
Can we try and maybe give them some optimistic hope at the fact they're going to have a new stadium, I guess, some point soon in Cleveland? I don't know.
Noah. There's no.
I'm trying.
There's no, Noah. There's no. There's no.
To add to JJ's point, don't forget Seth was the opening match against Orton in WrestleMania, lost, and then later cashed in the Money in the Bank to win the title.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
also, real quick.
And to Walter's point, there have been more than a few opportunities where a briefcase holder has lost and then cashed in later in the night to win the title.
True. And the last time Nic Nemeth was involved for a championship, he lost to Leon Slater on TNA Impact.
You were going to say, Charles? I'm sorry.
And it was also kind of funny you brought up Money in the Bank holders have lost before they cashed in. That applied to Nic Nemeth as well. Nick has lost match before he cashed in his Money in the Bank back in 2013. So
that's true. And he had one of the
history. So it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Nic Nemeth has also been, again, he's also freelancing. He's been in Memphis. He's been in AIW, which is also very local, of course, to the Cleveland, Ohio area. He's also been involved in JCW. Shout out to Juggalo Championship Wrestling. In fact, I think he recently just lost the match at that place. So
he's actually going to be in a fatal four-way for the championship at Stranglemania.
Oh, wow. Woo. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be Nic Nemeth versus Matt Riddle versus Caleb Conley versus the current champion, Pablo Escobar's favorite drug dealer, cocaine.
What day is that, JJ?
That would be Friday at 11:59 local time, midnight, basically 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
I'll definitely watch that even more.
All the wrestling.
Walter and I will be there.
About saying,
Mickie, all of you.
And Charles, I do believe James may need a commentator. So if you're actually going to be up, I will pencil you in.
Depends if nothing goes crazy on me that day. Hopefully.
But I say you're crazy enough of how much you watch all at once, including simul multicasting. God bless you, but again, protect your mentality. Even the Superman's learned to do only one show at a time. But nonetheless, I do understand what you mean. And at this point, welcome to the family, bro. You might as well join commentary at some point. But nonetheless, since we've already crapped enough Cleveland teams and sports franchises, I'll say this before I let Walter actually speak something or maybe give us a joke. The Cavaliers did win back in 2016. Anyway, Walter, do you have anything you want to add or blast Cleveland with before we move on? What the hell?
Nope, I did my Super Bowl joke. I'm good. Let's just move on.
Okay, then. So bottom line, everyone on this panel thinks Nic Nemeth's going to win. Hooray for the home team. Okay. Jesus. Wow. I'm sorry, Cleveland. As an Ohioan, it is what it is. But hey, I'm in Toledo, so it doesn't affect me. And Colin, nothing but love, brother. Josh, grow up. Let's go ahead and move on. Wow. That was fun. Now, I don't want to say anything that makes a certain man appear, but there's somebody here I know on this card where as soon as I bring up the graphic, I'm not going to get to introduce him, but let's go ahead and talk about his match next, shall we? Because Frank Kazarian, go ahead, JJ.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Damn it.
I demand all of your gratitude for the queen
You,
of TNA,
how dare you?
Frankie Kazarian, as he takes on that walking vagabond, Elias, Ezekiel, Elijah, although none of them have been in the same place at the same time, yet Noah Foster here wants us all to believe that they are the same person, just like he expects us all to believe in Joe Hendry.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Damn it. I knew it. I fucking knew
I
it.
love that.
I knew
But
he
he
was going to.
expects us to all believe that they are the same person despite never being seen at the same place at the same time, just like he tries to tarnish the name of El Grande Americano, Rayo, Bravo,
Yes.
for an unbiased, simple man, sure shows lots of favoritism when any of these names come up.
Because it's. You know what?
Acknowledge your king of TNA, because the future is now and the future looks good.
Are you done?
For
What
now,
the
yeah.
fuck? Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a grudge match. We got Frank Kazarian broke the guitar of Elijah. Oh my God in heaven, I got an aneurysm after all that shit. Ay, ay, ay. After bringing his guitar as sacrifice, where somehow Kazarian and Flop were able to get the better of the hometown man and freaking Elijah. Kazarian has vowed, though, however, to do whatever it takes to end Elijah. This might be the day that music truly dies in TNA. After Elijah, of course, was just attacked again by this freaking carny freaking Kazarian that takes every cheap shot he can get to make everything about himself in the conversation. Dadgummit. So bottom line, folks, it's a grudge match. Frank Kazarian, by the way, was also just recently in action on Impact against BDE, and he was able to win with the chicken wing. Elijah and Kazarian then started fighting, of course, all the way up the entranceway. I have no idea right now if Elijah is coming in on a horse with no name, and I have no idea the condition of Kazarian. Try saying that 3 times fast. So bottom line, a guitar's not involved, but we're in Cleveland. Vince Russo, you're hearing this, bro. Book a guitar and a pole match after this, all right? Because I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to lead. First ever one-on-one grudge match, folks. Kazarian versus Elijah. We're talking about the man that put freaking Mustafa Ali in a guitar-shaped coffin who's challenging for a championship on this stage. So truth be told, if Kazarian wins here, we might get the guitar in a pole match. Kazarian gets brain, the future falls back to the past, and maybe he loses that buzz cut, goes back to being bald and being a bad influence, and maybe he could try and become TNA World Champion again. Nah, I don't freaking know, without going into the lake of reincarnation at the Hardy compound. But regardless, I feel like because of the fact that I don't think this is going to be over, begrudgingly, with a mindset versus a heart outlook, I got to go with Kaz for the win. But nonetheless, I think this is not going to end in Cleveland. But I'm going with Kazarian by hook or by crook, winning again. Going with Kazarian here. Let's go around the horn and see what you all think. After the man that tried to do his own Ludwig Kaiser impression of dissertation and blast me on everything that I know I'm right in, let's go and see if there's any possible way he can influence anybody else to say anything different. So go ahead, JJ, and say your prediction. We'll go around the horn. I picked Cass, by the way. And by the way, 80% picked Kazarian, the rest picked Elijah. Go ahead, JJ, as if I don't already know his prediction.
Well, I think it's hilarious that you bring up Ludwig Kaiser after just talking about El Grande Americano. Like, again, I have never seen them in the same place at the same time. I have seen Chad Gable and El Grande Americano in the same place at the same time. But I just find it ironic that you bring up Ludwig Kaiser, and we were just talking about El Grande Americano a couple minutes ago. But yes, Noah, yes, I have the king of TNA ascending to and sitting heartily back on his throne above this peasant known as Elijah. And unless anybody else wants to stoke my fire to where I begin raging out like the rage of wrestling over there, then I will calm down. I will bring the blazes back down, and I will give up the rest of my time because I already feel like I made my point in the opening dissertation. But I do reserve the right to rebuttal if someone speaks ill of the king of total nonstop action.
Just because they speak differently about Kazarian doesn't mean they're wrong in their opinion. Nonetheless, the court now recognizes the rest of the panel as we got 2 for Kaz. Although I know one particular person always walks with Elijah. So, Charles, you still walking with him, or are you walking away with Frankie Kazarian? What is your...
You know the answer. I'm going with Elijah to win this.
There we go. That's why I wanted it. I knew there was going to be some polarization here because this man's committed. He is his biggest roadie. Oh, you didn't know. All right. That being said, Kazarian, Elijah. Let's go ahead and get the rest of the panel's thoughts now. Walter, what do you guys think regarding this match? Who's your pick? You are muted. Botch. Still muted. I think he's on a call, so I don't know what's going on.
I was going to say he may be on a phone call, in which case you can't botch him.
Yeah, I was on a call, but I'm gonna
unbotch.
I'm going with unbotch. I'm going with Frankie.
That's a first.
I think this is not over, and if the 4 can make an agreement with the system, then maybe Elijah and Ali ain't over with, so there might be interference there that gets Frankie over. So I think Frankie's winning this.
I think Ali was resuscitated after he came back to life out of the coffin. I think he doesn't want to win as Elijah again unless he wants to be dragged from a horse's hide, but I do see what you mean. All right, that being said, it's another Kazarian. I think Charles is going to be the odd one out here, unless he follows suit with him like he did in the first match. Let's see if Charles is on an island of his own. Emmanuel, who are you going with?
James, can you clip this? No, can you repeat that with that the King of TNA is going to win?
No, I already said it. I'm not a parrot. So let's go ahead and finish this out.
No, I didn't hear you. I have bad hearing. Can you repeat it one more time?
I said I picked Frankie Kazarian to win because I don't think this is over yet.
All right. That's all I want to hear. Let's move on.
I'm guessing he's going with Kazarian.
Good boy, Noah. Good boy.
Shut up. All right.
Bow down to the king of TNA.
Freaking court jester. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and get away from this. It's 4 for Kazarian and 1 for Elijah because Charles will always walk with Elias. 4.
Nice job, Noah. Nice job. Nice job, there, bud. Not our fault. Not our fault. What the world?
Hey. All right. Moving on. Bloody hell.
The next thing you're going to tell me, Clark Kent is Superman, Bruce Wayne is Superman. That's not just outlandish. No,
all right. Stop it. Stop it. You are not doing this to pop culture. That's the Till and Ash's job. I will remove you from this stream. All right. Moving on from there. Jesus Christ almighty. This is not deserving to be on pay-per-view. What does serve on pay-per-view, much to what Jada was talking about earlier, is the newly minted title that Trey Miguel, my boy from Toledo, Ohio, smoke what you got him, this lone OG true rascal, Trey Miguel, the current, holding the green, might I add, TNA International Championship, defending against Mustafa Ali. I got Mountain Dew, but I might need something harder before this day concludes, considering I know what else I need to talk about. I'm going to talk about that match next before I'm an aneurysm after what JJ and them put me through, and I already botched myself, but thank you. God bless you. Let's go ahead and talk about the TNA International Championship. Of course, Trey Miguel, who took this title at, I always get the shows confused, No Surrender, And of course, now defense against Mustafa Ali. And I was talking about the Order 4 earlier. I think I know where the Order 4 is going to be. Of course, Mustafa Ali sounds going to be accompanied by everybody. The Great Hands, Tasha Steeles, and Special Agent Zero, who we still don't know the name of and where his background's from, and whether or not he works with that special agency that names you by a letter versus a number. Nonetheless, it's for the TNA International Championship. You all know how this stems off. After the incredible showcase by Jada Stone, who, by the way, just got the win against Danny Luna. Again, Danny Luna, all the best. Jada Stone, keep rising. We saw the way that Mustafa Ali sent a very painful, emphatic statement at the expense of a held hostage, Trey Miguel, by the Great Hands in that mixed tag team match back at Sacrifice, which raised the ire of the champion and has now pushed Mustafa Ali to also challenge for this TNA championship, where he might have a new direction trying to become the next great leader of TNA. With all the taunting right now, it's a battle of revenge at Rebellion. How poetic. As they will go one-on-one. But again, you all saw the graphic. I don't think this is going to be a one-on-one affair, and I think Mustafa Ali has more security than I think when it comes to trying to become the champion here. This will be Trey Miguel's, I believe, first official defense, or second, excuse me, of the TNA International Championship. Things also reached a boiling point this past Thursday on TNA Impact when they traded words, of course, earlier in the show. So, again, it's a very volatile situation that Trey Miguel might be letting emotions lead him into a storm that he may not be able to weather through. As Mustafa Ali is campaigning now to become the brand new TNA International champion. And also Miguel was able to outlast the Great Hands, thanks to Moose's assistance, by the way. And again, we're going to talk about that match here a little later. But still, in Ali, do you still trust? That's what this really comes down to, as Ali looked to weaken the champion this past Thursday, but was unable to. But clearly, he's in the champion's head. Let's go around the horn and see if y'all think there's going to be a brand new TNA International champion. Charles, I will start with you on this one. And Ali, do you trust, or does Trey somehow smoke him and still hold the TNA International title?
Trey's keeping the belt.
All right. Just simple as that, huh? Must be the youngness of the runner. You still think that Mustafa Ali might be looking for something greater down the line. Just saying. That's propaganda campaign he's running. Okay, fair enough. So that being said, Charles, simply put, as he keeps it simple here, he has Trey retaining. And a majority are actually going with Trey maintaining. 3-1, 75% for Trey, 25% for Ali. How fitting, 1-4 for the pie. That being said, let's go around the horn and see what the rest of y'all think. Manuel, we're going to go counterclockwise. We're going to clockwise this time. Do you got a new TNA International champion?
No, I don't. I think Trey Miguel is gonna retain this title because, he doesn't have all his security personnel with him in this match. Certain Agent Zero is gonna be busy that night, so.
Damn
Yes.
it, JJ!
Yes.
Fucking idiot!
Yes.
No, I hate that so much. Continue, Emmanuel.
I don't know how to even follow that, so let's move on.
Fair enough. He's got also Trey retaining. JJ, despite the fact you compared Agent Zero to that, do you got Trey retaining as well? I can't keep it together.
What's the matter, Noah?
I'm trying to talk about my boy Trey from Toledo, Ohio. I'm fine. Do you have Trey retain the TNA National Championship? Get that off the screen. Again, based on order here, another perspective of order, cause and effect. Do you got Trey retaining?
I do have Trey retaining, and a lot of it comes down to one specific line that Ali shot in that promo where he mentioned the Rascals.
Yeah, he hit a nerve. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Know if it's going to be disqualification. I don't know if it's going to be clean, but the title can't change hands in DQ. So I still see Trey leaving with that title. Because I think Trey's emotions are running wild. And I think that could lead him to do something stupid.
You think?
Even if he do something stupid, to my point, can't change hands via DQ.
True.
So how stupid is it really if he still walks out with the gold? And with WrestleCon just around the corner, with all 4 rascals going to be there, and with Trey being the only one with the belt right now, at least a major belt.
Yeah, call it what it is. This belt, by the way, that will be 1 year old, I think literally, if not
By
this weekend,
then.
next weekend.
Yeah, because it was decided at Unbreakable last year, which was the Thursday before Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And everything jumps off. WrestleCon, WWE World, everything jumps off the Thursday before Mania. So come WrestleCon, it will be a year old.
It's crazy when you think about it.
But yeah, I've got Trey retaining here.
I'm just
Whether
gonna
he
say
beats him 1, 2, 3, or it's a disqualification, which I think a DQ might actually be the best way to go, because Mustafa and Trey have some great chemistry,
oh yes,
both
they do.
on the mic and in the ring. So I want to see this go a little bit deeper to where we can maybe get to some form of stipulation, whether it's no disqualifications or something. You know, I think that's the next inevitable step.
I think you're onto something there, and thank you so much, by the way, for your comment here. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. When Mustafa Ali came back, he interrupted one particular individual, and that individual holds the cornerstone and is in our main event. Again, we need great leadership. That being said, he also did say, though, and again, you can take it with a grain of salt considering this graphic, he wants to face Trey and beat him 1-on-1. But we all know you don't trust somebody in a political position. And we saw when Trey, like you said, got triggered, the Order 4 immediately came down to their fearless leader's aid. Now, whether or not Mustafa Ali honors what he actually said, or Trey thinks he's full of shit, and we actually get surprised that this is 1-on-1, it would be unique to see Mustafa Ali lose via pinfall or submission 1-on-1 on a major TNA stage, which outside of gimmick, it has not happened for quite a damn while, folks. So that being said, I am going with Trey also to retain. So right now it's Trey. Walter, are we unanimous here? Does Trey retain, or do you believe Mustafa Ali wins this title?
I hate that JJ and I think so much alike. Ali's
Yeah, sometimes I worry about you too.
yeah. I think the Order 4 is gonna interfere somehow, get caught, and it's gonna be a DQ, and they retain the Trey retains the title. So this is only his second defense. There's no way there's a way, but I wouldn't have him lose his title that fast. And this isn't the only match that they're gonna have. It's gonna be ending up some kind of no DQ or street fight or something between these two that's gonna finally settle it. That way, it doesn't matter when the rest of the Order 4 interfere. Trey's gonna get some backup somewhere eventually. I don't know if that means you have people from NXT come help him or something, but I feel like this ain't gonna be their only battle. So I feel like he retains the title regardless of whether he actually wins the match or not.
There's only one other thing I want to add to this equation that really picked this thing up. Jada Stone. It was Jada Stone that became part of the entire fuel to the fire, for being honest here, and Trey joined the crossfire. And we also just saw, once again, that press secretary who's been instrumental in Mustafa Ali's run and confidence as of late assault Jada Stone, blindsided her. I don't think Jada Stone is done with the Order 4 either, and that's another thing that could lead to a surprise roll-up if that's the only way that Trey actually gets a definitive win over Ali. I think Jada Stone, if the Order 4 gets involved, because if nothing else, I think Tasha Steelz will. If the Order 4 gets involved, I don't think Jada Stone's going to be too far away, because she still wants to snatch that bitch. So I'm just saying, regardless, Trey's going to retain. But like y'all said, I don't think Trey and Ali and Jada Stone and Tasha Steelz are done with each other by any means. But this should be a hell of a match, as long as we don't have a crazy interference breakdown, DQ, throw the thing out. Okay, well, that being said, from a match that should be honorable, whether or not you trust in that, to a match that's going to be simply one word: hardcore country. Because look at this. We have a hardcore country match. Let's just call it what it is. It's a no disqualification with all 6 of these broads. Let's just call it what it is. Let's talk about this Knockouts Trios match as the Elegance brand, Heather and M by Elegance and Ash by Elegance. The Elegance brand take on this trios of TNA legends. Taryn, Terrell, boom, ODB, and of course, TNA Hall of Famer, who went into the Hall of Fame, might I add, just last year, Mickie James. This all escalated, of course, going back to No Surrender, when Mickie James came back and confronted Ash regarding the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships against Zaya Brookside and Indy Hartwell, and of course, a war of words. And apparently, I guess you can get mentally injured in this game as part of an injury report. What the fuck? Pick some therapy. And apparently, it was all just a ruse. Ash is now back in play, and Taryn Terrell, she was assaulted this past Thursday by the Elegance brand. Go figure. What else is new? And after countless embarrassing acts, the Elegance brand got one up on 1/3 of this TNA Knockouts Trios legend stand. So now this match, fuck it. We're not going to wrestle. We're going to fight. It's a hardcore country match. I'm expecting everything from a barn to a food truck pantry to a dollhouse and who knows what else to be thrown in front of the Elegance brand's face. So let's go ahead and see what y'all think about this 6-woman melee. I feel like everyone's going to have the same answer here because what the fuck? But nonetheless, let's talk about it. We'll go around the horn and see what everyone thinks about this. And this time we will start off with Walter. Walter, what do you think about this trios knockouts match? The legends versus the current under hardcore country stipulation, quote unquote. Who you got winning and what the fuck's happening?
I don't know what the fuck's happening or how we got here. I think this is just to give some veterans one last time some glory, and it's because the Knockouts division is not what it was, so they have to do this to get us interested in it again, and kind of sucks because throughout the years the Knockouts division was the best women's division going, no matter what, and then you let people go or quit or whatever happened, go to Maple Leaf Pro, and now this is the suffering of the Knockouts division. But I feel like this is catered to just get the legends a win, and it's like going to be probably a one-time thing. So it's their match. It's catered to them. I'm going with the legends, the hardcore country legends to win.
The only thing that would make this better is if I see Tara come out and literally Whittle Peak somebody just cause. Maybe Timu Pee Wee Herman. I don't know. But if you're going with the Elegance brand, you're stuck on something cheaper than the champagne they drink. And it's warping your brain worse than Walter's product. Support him today. I'm not going against Mickie James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell, even if I was drunk. And again, I'm 99.7% sober. I'm not betting against these legends, especially against this shit. Definitely Mickie James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell for the win. We'll go counterclockwise this time and get everyone else's thoughts. Before I give it to JJ, I guess there is one poor loss, unfortunate soul that picked the Elegance brand. Who the fuck are you? 95% went with Mickie James and company. 1 person went with the Elegance brand. Where's the prime of his George Iceman himself? JJ, go ahead, speak. What you got to say about this match?
Well, before I say anything about this match, I do want to shout out Armin in the chat here. First time I've seen him pop up.
Hi, Armin.
Really contributing to the chat. Just followed me on X and even retweeted our stream there saying worth a watch if you're a TNA fan and or tuning into Rebellion tonight. These guys are good and know their stuff. So first of all, Armin, thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciated. That's how we're going to get more recognition. Game recognized game. We appreciate the love there.
As long as the wrestlers get the recognition too. And at the end of the day, you can go John Oliver tonight when it comes to the comedy angles that are going to happen in this match. And much to your point, as I saw in his comment, It's a gimmick match, folks, for Pete freaking sake. Of course it makes sense for the freaking legends defining the gimmick to get the win. It's as clear as Wrestling 101 as night is today. You kidding me? But anyway, again, that's just my outlook. Go ahead, JJ, please speak.
So everybody on this panel knows how much I do enjoy the Elegance brand.
Yes.
I'm one of the few on the panel that have been down with the Elegance brand pretty much since its inception. Much like I feel with a lot of the WWE cast-offs that have found their home in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Dana Brooke is doing some of the best work of her career as Ash.
She found her character, that's for sure.
You know, even if it was in its inception a timeless knockoff, you know, that I even had to go as far as to nickname Dimeless Dana Brooke.
Damn, I remember that.
Ash by Elegance has morphed into one of the more entertaining characters in this new era of TNA wrestling. And the fact that people like you despise the gimmick so much,
Damn right.
just means she's doing her job well.
Exactly. So, you know, not everything in wrestling's got to be just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling with me. There's actually stuff here that legitimately pisses me off. Continue, JJ.
I picked the legends in this match in the official form. I'm not the one person. Okay,
cut you off here.
but, and I'm not changing my pick, but I could definitely see a case for the Elegance brand getting the dub here. At the end of the day, if the legends win, where do we go from here? Mickie's not going to be around on a week-to-week basis.
No.
ODB's in her retirement, her final run.
Yes.
Taryn Terrell, we haven't heard from in God knows how fucking long.
About a decade.
So if they win, what's the point?
They're still
all you do is you stifle the group that's going to be here next week. All you do is knock down a few pegs. The only credible tag team that you have on the fucking roster still.
That's why you don't pin the
champs. So I just want
Nash.
you to think about that.
It's
Again,
simple, JJ.
I'm not changing my pick, but if the Elegance brand loses, it hurts more than it helps. And they're going to be here the next week and the week after that and the month after that and 6 months after that probably. Whereas probably not going to see Mickie, ODB, and Taryn again. At least not anytime soon.
No.
Maybe at Slammiversary. Maybe at Bound for Glory. But the appearances will be few and far between.
Here, I'm just going
to that's the only argument I'm going to make for the Elegance brand.
I respect
that.
But
I do still have the legends here.
Okay, good deal. And I'm just going to say this right now. There's a reason this is happening. Tickets and appearance and appeal. It's as simple as that. And the only thing that could come further from this is Mickie James versus Ash at their next PLE, if not, to his point, their next big pay-per-view, Slammiversary. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that is the end game to all of this, considering it was Mickie James that came and assaulted Ash in the first place. As far as Em and Heather, who, again, I want Maggie Lee to succeed. I'm happy for Heather. There is no tag team in TNA wrestling. So it honestly doesn't matter who gets pinned here because regardless, they have still the pointless red straps. If you want to put more stock into the Elegance brand, then do what you've been doing with NXT talent. Have them go after the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. It'd probably be more worthwhile for the Elegance brand to be at WrestleMania than the Bellas. But nonetheless, I'm going to just leave that there. Shut it, everybody. And I'm just going to say Ash eats the fall because she instigated this. And again, thank you so much. And I hope you continue to follow us do and follow Sleepy Predicting because I, of course, do cover TNA wrestling and every TNA PLE and pay-per-view is always Sleepy Predicted. Thank you so much for your patronage. Regardless, it's Ash who started. It's Ash who's going to eat crow from it. Or whatever they serve on a farm, considering this hardcore country. I guess hay in this case. Regardless, they're not winning. Legends are winning. And Ash will be fine, and so the Elegance brand, because they are the persistent only faction with women right now that are spearheading the TNA Knockouts division or lack thereof. It's as simple as that. It's a Legends showcase. To be in the ring with these three, might I add, former TNA Knockout World Champions, that's already raising their stock. But you can't go against this legendary trio.
No, take a look at this real quick. I think that may be the biggest number we've ever had for Simply Predicting. That's not like a WrestleMania or something.
Well, thank you, everybody that's tuning in. If you haven't already, follow us at Studios on the X. And please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. For, of course, we do this for the love of wrestling and to put the spot on the wrestlers, support the workers, not the brand. But thank you for being TNA faithful and leaving your impact. Okay, that being said, Mickie James, ODB, Taryn, Terrell. I only pointed at us three because we all said the Legends are going to win. Emmanuel, you say something different. I'm cutting you off this stream, but let's go ahead and get your thoughts. What you got to say?
I love how he threatens that. Like the other two of us in the top row don't have producer credit and can't bring him right back.
Damn you. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
No, I'm not offended that you think I'm going to pick the Elegance brand in this one.
I was pretty sure the Emmanuel card was coming out here. That's why I said it.
No Emmanuel card for this one yet. But
damn it,
I agree with JJ. Like, what did these legends get out of this that they win? Like
TNA stock.
Yeah, exactly. But like at the end of the run, like you want to push the future of TNA as well. So it wouldn't be so far-fetched to go with the Elegance brand. But I picked the Legends, Mickie James, ODB, and Terrell. And it's just like it makes sense. Like it wouldn't be the first time wrestling put over the Legends over the regulars, aka the Accession. And we'll talk about that. If you know. Yeah. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like if you book them right, then they have a promising future. If you don't book them right, like the Session, they're dead. They're dead in the water. You can't come back from that. So it's one of those things. Like, hopefully they make it like a almost like close 50-50 type of scenario. But for me, it's the Legends who's going to get this one.
And shout out, by the way, to Kiara Hogan. Her name was, of course, mentioned. The former Fireball who lost her way during the Dead Realm at a time, which led to a whole escapade about the bunny losing her soul to save her and Rosemary. That's a different conversation. And yeah, Fire and Flavor, the Iconics, MK Ultra before Rejected. It's just weird right now. I'm hoping they do stuff with Myla Grace and Harley Hudson. Maybe there's still a chance for the Angel Warriors. I wouldn't mind double champion, honestly. Zaya Brookside. And if Nick Hart, well, we'll talk more about that here in a little bit because, here we go again with the 40 figure going rogue, having a gender of their own. It wasn't bad enough, but Don Callis and freaking Immortal. Anyway, the different conversation. Again, figure arm, man, love these spots. As someone who's followed TNA pretty much every generation possible and every possible generation of the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Appreciate your patience. But that being said, so far, yeah, Legends all around. Charles, go ahead. Say your prediction, sweet and simple. What you got to say?
Well, I'm playing the Emmanuel card here tonight. I'm going with the Elegance brand win this match.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So you're the one.
Happening. Exactly. I'm going with the Elegance brand to win this match.
You're the one fool that... Oh my gosh.
I
All
mean,
right.
again, Noah, with what I said, it makes sense. Like, okay, so the legends get the victory here. And then what? Because they got a victory, they get a tag title shot. So we get one more match out of this. And then the Elegance brand win there and retain. And then we move on. Or the offbeat chance that ODB and Mickie James become tag champs.
Oh.
Just for what? Them to lose it back to the Elegance brand so that you have another aneurysm?
It's not about the tag straps that are pointless. It's about Ash at the end of the day. That's why she leads the fall, and you set up her and Mickie James. It's as simple as that.
I definitely think either Ash or Taryn are going to take the pinfall. Whichever team loses, those are the ones getting pinned. You're not going to jeopardize ODB and Mickie, and you're not going to jeopardize your champs.
Well, I mean, ODB, to be fair, she covered them like some sort of secret sauce. So honestly, she could have a receipt coming to her. I mean, you know. And ODB, if she's drinking that flask, she might be a little bit tipsy.
Ooh.
So anyway. What? Oh, my word. She is a blonde, beautiful person. Oh, good grief. Okay.
That's an interesting take by Armin there.
That's a very interesting take. And you also just expand the power and the stock in the Elegance brand with a former TNA Knockouts world champion. Although with Ash, I actually agree that though is my thing. Again, can you have two blonde egos coexisting that massive? But that's a very interesting take there, Armin, and that would definitely catch me off guard. I mean, again, we saw ODB and Mickie James singing out backstage as Terrell was left to the wolves in the ring this past Thursday. Was it all a ruse? Was it all an inside job? You threw a monkey wrench into things. But I still believe, regardless, 9 out of 10 times, you got to go with the Legends to win, especially in a gimmick match. But still, if that happens, credit to you because no one else thought about that. That's a very interesting take. All right. With that being said, make the TNA Knockouts division great again and more in depth. All right. This, again, it'll be fun. I'm sure Walter will have all sorts of jokes, farm jokes on hand and food jokes or something like that. Who the frick knows? This is literally a match that you literally could call drunk or sober or full of food. You could call DoorDash while doing it. Let's go ahead and move or apply for your face. What? What'd you say?
I said Shucky Ducky.
Quack, quack.
I mean, to be fair,
don't you remember that one like video that got out of Booker T ordering like DoorDash during an NXT taping?
Yes, I heard.
Wait, that was real?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That's why when he said this is something you could order DoorDash to, I went there.
I probably just saying.
Yeah. Booker also did a no. He went to the bathroom while he was in the broadcast when he first was learning. So he's done a few things.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, but nothing will top him falling asleep last year at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, JJ, let's be fair. That was everybody. Let's be honest.
If your speech is going an hour long and it's already past midnight, I don't blame you one.
Just saying.
Look, if there's honestly one WWE thing that I'm sad we're not doing, it's the Hall of Fame because I didn't get the chance to go to the Hall of Fame for Mania 21.
Okay.
And I wasn't fully invested back into things when we came back here for 39. So the fact we're going to be in the town for Mania and not going to the Hall of Fame, that's the one thing I'm a little bit sad about. But at the same time, what are your 3 favorite words when it comes to our watch-along trailers and everything?
Wrestling.
That we're going to be taking in, so it's like, I can afford that.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let's see if the system can afford another loss as we move on from man. I see your hand real quick. What you gotta say real quick?
To be honest, as a fan, what do you do in the Hall of Fame? You just be respectful and just hear people and waste like $100 just to hear people talk and then leave. Like
to be
it
fair,
seems like
to be fair,
I'm saying, like,
I look at it like this. You know. We're not industry insiders by any stretch of the imagination. It would be like getting an invitation to the Grammys or the Oscars. You're there to take in them getting their achievement, their moment in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an opportunity where you get to be a part of that whereas you don't really get into those closed door type of events.
Yeah.
So as a fan who's watched a good chunk of these people throughout their career, you get that moment for their top achievement, Hall of Fame status.
Yeah, you follow them for that long, and you pay your respect. And it's one of those things where you follow this person so long for their career, and to show the humility that they show back to the fans that follow them through the good times, the bad times. It's that aspect, but it's also one of those things you are there to just literally listen, not be literally part of the experience, and that's a whole different form of what you're getting out of what you put in. But speaking of things that are righteous by nature and unrighteous, we saw the righteous take on this tag team. You know what I'm saying, man? This past Thursday in a tables match. And why they lost, they got the last laugh and to put one half of the champs, as we move on to this match, through a table. Let's talk about the TNA World Tag Team Championships. As the Hardys, who have literally held these titles virtually forever, if you've all been following them as long as I have, defend the gold against the System. Brian Myers and Bear Bronson of System 3.0. Of course, we saw Brian Myers and Bear Bronson win a Fatal 4-Way No One Contenders match a few weeks ago on TNA Wrestling. And prior to that, they tried to assault the Hardys every chance they could get. We also, of course, saw back at Sacrifice how the Hardys were going up against the System, but it was a ruse, as we saw Dutch and its crazy Colonel Sanders, devilish Colonel Sanders way over a bloody bludgeon Matt Hardy, and Jeff Hardy was left to the wolves. As Vincent and basically Dutch have sent these Hardys down this proverbial mental warfare, this past Thursday, they got their comeuppance as they challenged the Hardys to TNA World Tag Team Champions for the second time this year after losing out against them at, I believe it was Genesis. At the end of the day, though, was a tables match, and the Hardys have defined tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh, my. However, at the end of the match, though, it was literally the righteous that were smiling because Dutch charged into the Hardys after the match and slammed the table down on top of Jeff. Boy, how much has Jeff been damaged up, it feels like, this year alone, physically and mentally? I'm just saying, good grief almighty. Regardless, now's the official two of the System challenging definitely less than 100% Hardys for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Brian Myers being former TNA World Tag Team Champion 3 times over, I believe, for the System, alongside the Edwards, considering his level of tag team experience and pedigree, most professional wrestler, for those that remember that name. He and Bear Bronson have a very, very realistic chance of taking the TNA World Tag Team Championships. So, that being said, do you trust the System in match 2 of 3, where the System look to take over TNA Wrestling? But also, the Hardys, if they beat the System, who else is left? Talking about the TNA Knockouts tag team division. Yes, there's a men's tag division, but they beat virtually everybody except 2 teams, one of which you're still waiting on, that are still playing good hands for Mustafa Ali, and the other one's sitting there insane. But outside that, they beat everybody. How much longer do the Hardys go forever, or is this their twist of fate that ends their run, courtesy of the System upgrading? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. This time we're going to start off with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you're going to go first. Do you have brand new TNA Tag Team Champions?
Yes, we do. No, I was disappointed that the Hardys regained this tag team titles against the Righteous Brothers. I'm done with the tag team reign, to be honest. It's time for a change. If we don't change the titles, it's like TNA is in bigger trouble than we think we are. Because who's next? I don't know who else is that they haven't faced in these, this title reign. Because you don't want. I don't know. You don't want a WWE NXT panel to win these tag team titles from the Hardys, so it's better safe for the System to win this over NXT talent at this point. So I had to go with the System.
I just want TNA Championships to stay in-house and develop their own freaking roster. Is that too much to freaking ask versus feeling like a one-sided takeover where the side taking over is making it more underwhelming than profitable and meaningful and investing? Just saying. But nonetheless, all right, you got brand new tag team champions. Before I let everybody else go, just give you all a little bit of hindsight. Remember what I said about Leon Slater? Yeah. The Hardys won the titles the same night, Slammiversary last year. They've had the longest run in recent memory with the TNA World Tag Team Championships for the same amount of time, and this will be their 9th defense. The System, by the way, are former 3-time TNA Tag Team champions, and the Hardys beat them originally for the titles back at Bound for Glory, I saw live, 2024, in Jeff Hardy's enigma of his imagination, Full Metal Mayhem. Of course, that time it was Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards have always been the tag team of the System, but Brian Myers has always been a tag team specialist, period. That being said, he's got new champs. We're going to do a little different this time and go arrow side, so I will go next, and I'm going to say I don't trust the System, but if they don't win this, what are we doing? I think the Hardys have ran their course. Now, as you know, they face the Righteous, which was the last team to mess with them mentally. And I don't think you need the tag team championships in what people want at the Hardy compound. Do I think that's still going to happen? Yes. But I also think if the System is going to actually be an improvement, someone has to get a win here. And looking at the 3 matches, this was the only one I saw with maybe a title change more definitively happening. I got new tag champs. Plus, Jeff Hardy's now coming in there at 100%. I think that also is a crutch. And I think they're going to use that. It wasn't surprising, by the way, the Righteous get involved here versus the rest of the System members. But yeah, I got new tag champions as well. I'm going with the System here and Brian Myers and Bear Bronson. And Bear Bronson's first TNA accolade and his last accolade since I don't know when, despite the fact he's been working in GCW. Think about it, for those who've been square, I watched lots in that. I got new champs. Charles, what about you? Do you got new tag team champions, or do you see the Hardys somehow retaining again?
I said, or what I picked, Cedric. It's going to be the same logic here. We're going to have new tag team champions. Because let's be honest, we are going to get the Hardys and Righteous again in the compound.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to need the titles. System's getting the belts here. And I won't be surprised if it's because of the Righteous getting involved.
See what I'm saying, man? Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Walter, believe it or not, majority, it's not like, a full-on, like, unanimous. It's not even 50-50, but it's still a little bit polarizing. 59% are going with the Hardys retaining. 41% right now, the 17 that have been submitted, are actually going with the System winning. So what do you think? Again, the Hardys, this new renaissance through TNA, they've literally been spearheading the TNA Tag Division since coming back. I believe it was literally 2 years ago at Against All Odds, where Broken Matt Hardy was reunited with Brother Nero after a match loss against Moose during his TNA World Championship run. But nonetheless, the Hardys have spearheaded TNA's Tag Team Division since they've been back. So what do you think? Do you got new chance finally again?
Nope. I think the Hardys are going to retain because of Righteous. You said Righteous is going to interfere. Their ego's not going to let anyone take these titles off of them but them. I think at Under Siege, we're going to get the compound match, and Righteous are going to win the tag team titles in the Hardys' own backyard. Literally. Their own backyard, not just their style match. They're going to get it. I think Righteous is going to show up and not let the System win the titles. Like, you're going to come out thinking it's good to help them, and they're not. And the Hardys are going to retain, and literally the Righteous are going to break them, and it's going to go back to that. They're going to end up in the compound, and then that's when they lose the titles.
All right, fine. Fair enough. I mean, I appreciate the polarizing thought, but again, I don't think you need the titles. I think this is the time to delete the Hardys' current run.
I don't think they need the titles either, but, third time's the charm.
True, but do the Righteous want gold, or do the Righteous want to break the Hardys? Quote, unquote. All right.
Why not accomplish both at the same time? Break them in, take their titles.
Yeah, I guess there's that. All right. JJ, you finish this thing out here. What do you think? And by the way, I say great hands because, folks, this guy is the biggest, and I mean biggest, supporter, lobbyer for Jason Hodge and John Scott to become TNA Tag Team Champions. And by the way, Armand, you're right. They did face Sinner State a non-title match a few weeks ago, retrospective bout. So, JJ, what do you think? Do you got the Hardys finally losing here? Does the system get an upgrade, or is it 0-2 for the system right now? In your opinion?
I'm right there with Walter. It's a big fat nope burger. The Hardys are retaining.
Damn it!
And I have a very logical reason for this.
That's a dangerous word, but go ahead.
At the end of the day, this is what, Noah? The wrestling
Business?
starts with a B, yes, business.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go! Uh-oh.
They're not going to miss an opportunity to have the TNA Tag Team Championships visible at this event. If the pay-per-view was the week after WrestleMania, I could see them losing it. But they're going to be at House of Glory, they're going to be at WrestleCon, and they're going to be at WWE World. They are taking those titles everywhere in order to get eyes on the TNA product.
All right. Theoretically,
As cool as it would be to see Bear get that belt,
yes.
you're not missing a, pun intended, golden opportunity to have the Hardys at WWE World with the TNA tag titles, especially with the partnership.
All right. I respect that take, I guess. I respect that take. I thought Under Siege is at the end of May. I thought they had talked about that at some point, but according to TNA's nonstop
May
live
23rd.
schedule, okay, so it is May 23rd. I wasn't sure because it is when it showed the nonstop schedule. Under Siege logo was not there, but there was 2 dates for that time. And usually when you got 2 dates, that's a taping, that's a special, at least once a month. And they do in TNA once a month some sort of PLE TNA Plus special outside the big 4 pay-per-views. It's like what? 8 TNA Plus specials and the 4 pay-per-views, I think, because they literally do each one a month. They do one a month. So there you go.
It also looks like there's something that's going to be on August 23rd in Chicago, which is either a Saturday or Sunday. That might be a pay-per-view also. And August 23rd is the day after I turn 50.
Interesting. And also...
so a TNA pay-per-view in Chicago for my 50th birthday sounds like something I might have to look into.
All right. Well, again, just hold off, man, because you're going to need a lot of recovery after next week. But nonetheless, and
I
yes,
know, but that's that's a few months away, and it's my birthday. I mean, we can raise some funds for this, and I do see Emmanuel with his hand.
Yeah, I see Emmanuel with his hand. So Emmanuel, go ahead and speak. Now, I also want to just point this out. Let's not forget the TNA Tag Team Champions are not the only thing the Hardys hold. They're still House of Glory champions, and they're also champions for. Fourth Rope. I could not remember that promotion for the life of me. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
It's all good, but again, the TNA titles are one of the big 3.
Yes, they are.
So having them bring those into WWE World, they're not going to be there with the House of Glory tag titles. They're not going to be there with the Fourth Rope titles.
Yeah.
But you could definitely see them still holding the TNA tag titles at that event.
That's fair, but and also it's Brett Bronson and Brian Myers' literal first challenge.
Yeah.
Frick, you may have swayed my opinion. Well, again, folks, remember, predictions are not final until 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. You can change them after you submit them, or just simply resubmit the form. Again, you will also find the form literally on my social media, and it also will be in the chat. I'll even put it in right now, again, for those that are just now tuning in. Please, Emmanuel, speak. Go ahead and lend your thoughts and your predictions.
Yeah, like I was going to tell Jada, I see your point of view, but at this point, if you don't know the Hardy has the belts in the TNA, in existence, then what are we doing here? Like, why is TNA, like, why do they need to have the tag TNA tag titles if you don't know by now that they're
Fair.
tag team champions. So it make kind of like I get your point. Like it makes sense. Like you want to promote it, but at the same time, if you don't know by now that if you're a major Hardy Boys fan, like you should know by now that they're in TNA and you know
That's a fun comment by Lily.
I hear where you're coming from, and it's not about knowing that they're in TNA and knowing that they're the champions. It's about visibility
Yep.
and WWE showcasing as many championships at that event as possible. Mr. Iguana is going to be there. You don't think he's going to have his AAA mixed tag team title for his photo opportunities?
To be fair, WWE owns AAA, but continue.
Okay. And WWE is partnered with TNA. When Joe Hendry was there last year as the TNA World Champion,
Damn it.
did he not have the title with him?
Yes, he did.
Okay. The Hardys are going to be there this year. You don't think they're going to use this opportunity to have the Hardys with the TNA tag team titles?
I'll tell you what, we'll see if it makes business
Because they sure
sense.
as hell ain't going to bring Bear Bronson and Brian Myers to the fucking world.
Yeah, I know that.
But the Hardys, who are WWE legends, they'll bring them there. God damn it. And that's why they're going to keep the belts this month.
All right.
They may lose them at the tapings afterwards. Because you know there'll be a set of tapings.
Of course, there always is.
They could lose them there. But they will still have them when they come to Vegas next week.
All right.
Marketing. Business.
Marketing, a business, a money. I get out of money.
I know it's the two things that you hate about pro wrestling, Noah. You hate thinking of it from a business aspect. You just want to look at it from the entertainment, the graps, the fun, the joy. But we're going into pro wrestling's Super Bowl.
All right, we'll see. I'm thinking about it. I still got a few hours to think about it, but I don't know. I mean, again, if the TNA is going to push this new system forward, they better put something into the new version that actually makes it optimal for use. But I don't know.
The only thing that would make this better is if the tag titles were on the line at WrestleMania and the Hardys were injected in that match like they were when they first came back.
Keep dreaming. All right. Let's go ahead.
Neither of the tag titles are on the line at Mania, which is fucking garbage.
Well, the tag divisions are pretty much garbage at this point. Let's just call it what it is. Tag team wrestling and WWE, lose that. That being said, let's go ahead. Emmanuel, I think also you're the last one to do your prediction, I think, on this. So do you have the Hardys or do you have the system? You're muted.
He started.
I already went. Yeah, I started.
Because you went him, you, Charles, Walter, me.
Okay, I forgot about that because we got into a business discussion. But nonetheless,
I'm sorry if I derailed you, but I'm bringing it the logic, and I know professional wrestling and logic, WWE and logic, but it's business. If this was any other pay-per-view, any other time of the year, again, if this pay-per-view were the Saturday after WrestleMania, I could see the system walking out. But because this is today and it's a week ahead of Mania, and the Hardys are going to be part of WWE Mania festivities, I just don't see it.
Well, I actually hope that you're wrong, just so someone could say you're wrong, because I just think it would be very funny to really see what business acumen you're smoking versus
and
what
if
they
I'm
are
right,
usually right or wrong.
And if I'm right, then when we come on the air tonight for karaoke, Noah will have to sing Matt Hardy's Live for the Moment for free, just as a kickoff to get things rolling.
You fucker.
He can slap a tornado. He can dry up a sea.
That is the damnedest, stupidest song ever. All right, moving on. Anyway,
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Yes, Charles, I see the hand.
What is it, Charles?
Noah still got in that other song too.
No, I don't.
No,
one's
because
paying,
we
no
never
one's
got
broke.
the super chat for that.
That's right. Everyone's broke. No one's paying, and no one's buying into the
It's still
nonsense
sad.
either. All right.
But still,
yeah,
no,
well,
that
Sad
is sick.
about that too.
Well, what else is sad is the state of the TNA Knockouts division and the TNA Knockouts World Championship. And I'm going to keep things civil here because my blood's already boiling a little bit, and I got to call this. So let's go ahead and pray to God that Lane Lee restores the prestige of the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Before I get into further details about this, I also want to tell you all right now, Daria Ray is now the only solo 40 figure in TNA. She has indefinitely suspended Santana Morel and Indy Hartwell after a scuffle backstage where Stats got knocked out. There was a run-in the TNA Knockouts locker room, and Indy Hartwell was able to siege the Cobra back for Santana Morella. And because of that, Daria Ray, blah, 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 she indefinitely suspended Indy Hartwell and Santana Morella, rep TNA. Nonetheless, we have the TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line. Arianna Grace gets a one-on-one match with the person she took it from under dubious circumstances, Ling Lee. Of course, Ling Lee, who previously brought this title home last year in a triple threat at Gold Rush, of course, outlasting Jordan Grace and Kalani Jordan. She was a commendable fighting champion, but due to this conspiracy theory of TNA just becoming soon enough a business acquisition probably to WWE, notice I said acquisition, NXT once again has a stranglehold in what they're calling their birthright. Should have been unbirthed, in my opinion. Of course, right now, with Arianna Grace holding the TNA Knockouts World Championship and cronies, including her future fiance, Stax, who is cheaper than the cheapest giant jingle blotch you can get from the Ellen DeGeneres show. Regardless, we have a one-on-one match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. I don't give a damn about points, prediction, business acumen, or analysis. If I'm ever going to believe in TNA wrestling being the cornerstone of women's wrestling again, you need a rightful, fighting, proper, homegrown, committed person versus a freaking piss-poor, platinum, Jezebel, cheap, anti-drama, Telemundo Italian artist holding the title to prevent her fiancé going to divorce court. So let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about the state of the TNA Knockouts World Championship, though I already fear to hear what you're going to say. And I'm just going to let everyone else speak. We're going to start off here with Charles this time. Charles, do you have a new TNA Knockouts World Champion? I think I already know what the answer is, but go ahead, lend your thoughts. Good fucking God, this title has been so far driven down the fucking toilet. Go ahead.
One, no title change. Arianna's keeping the title. And considering they did the whole suspend.
Fuck.
That kind of threw me. I was about to say, what? Did Ford just show up or something? What the hell? Or did I summon? Did I summon the God of Thunder for some reason? What did I do?
Quit messing with the controls. Go ahead, Charles.
That guy threw me off.
They're raining on Noah's parade.
I thought it was more than just the rain with that one.
Damn it.
Also,
Charles,
I got what you saying that too. I expect Arianna Grace to retain, and she's going to drop that title to Indy, and that's where Santana will get full control again. What we do only 40 figure, and it's probably going to happen either Slammiversary or Bound for Glory.
I fucking hate a 40-figure driven storylines this wrestling business. Can a wrestler just be great on their own or prove their worth or be shafted by the better competitor on the grandest stage without this tomfoolery? For the love of fucking Christ. Especially a short run like this that's a desperate please for a ratings bump. All
Sorry,
right,
Noah. It's how it's got to be. They let Trace tell you right in your face. That's where it's going.
About to say those 3 words, but I'll wait until after my call tonight. Thank you for that. Oh, my gosh. What's the cleanse? Is it a purge? Eric Young's not even on the damn card. Walter,
That is
go
a good
ahead.
point.
Speak your mind next, please. About a joke. Who leads the TNA Knockouts World Champion?
Unfortunately for you, Noah, I agree with Charles. That's exactly what's going to end up happening, and she'll lose it to Indy.
All right. Okay. Well, again, fuck everything. Layling Lee, please, for the love of God, be the savior, be the warrior, be the one to bring prestige and grace back to TNA wrestling. Win this title. If Daria Ray gets involved, knock her the fuck out. And Stacks, kick him in the jewels if he has jewels. Anyway, or cannolis, whatever. I'm actually full-blooded Italian, so I can say that. Whether or not I got roots in the mafia, I don't know yet. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Walter. I already said my piece. I pray Lee wins. I know it's not going to happen, but this is one predictions lead that's not about winning at this point. It's about what should be TNA wrestling. JJ, go ahead and speak. You're next. Talk about the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
Can I ask a question?
Why? But go ahead.
Show of hands, and yes, that means that Charles may need to come on the camera here. How many of us thought that Arianna Grace would be the most successful member of the Birthright? Charles is the only person. Okay. I sure as fuck didn't. Much like we've been discussing with the system, the Birthright is still getting its feet underneath it. They need some kind of championship until one of their talents gets something on their respective actual home brand of NXT. Arianna needs to keep this title for momentum. I think he found the proof of Hendry with the TNA title to kind of go back to my point from earlier.
All right. I see. Again, I far more believe in that versus anything right now in this TNA regime.
As much as I would like for Yǐng Lee to get the championship back, and I really would like it, it's not going to happen. Arianna's going to retain, and I think Charles is spot on with she's going to eventually lose it to Indy. Probably at Slammiversary. I think Bound for Glory in October is too far to do it.
Hell no. She had her chance last year to get it from Kalani Jordan, and she lost.
But I could see July, because that's only a couple more months. That's theoretically under siege, and whatever they do in June.
Against all odds, most likely, which has been usually the back-to-backs I've felt. Anyway, you got the champion retaining.
Sadly, yes. As much as I would love to see Yǐng Lee get the title back.
Freaking Daria Ray. All right, Emmanuel, go ahead. Finish this thing out. Who you got leaving TNA Knockouts World Champion?
Is it really a question, though? Let's move on.
All right, very good. Okay,
so
that was...
For this one, Noah is the one on the island unto himself.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. This was kind of expected, to be fair, when we got to this match. Let's just be fair here.
You're damn fucking right it was.
The only question I have for Noah is, then why take the title off her if you're just going to regain this pay-per-view? That makes no sense.
Just stop trying to make sense in wrestling. How about that hot take?
Well, how many times did Sasha Banks become champion and then lose it in her first defense? So, I mean, it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility.
We do not need to go to 2016 with current Charlotte Flair hot-potatoing every other Monday Night Raw at the WWE Women's Championship today.
Especially if WWE's hands are so far in the cookie jar like Noah swears that it is. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but... this just goes to prove that Arianna Grace is more successful than Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks, yes. Mercedes Moné.
Notice I didn't say that name. I said the name I said on purpose.
I know, JJ. Moving on. Thankfully.
Yeah. Sasha literally had, one title defense?
And lost it.
Yeah, at least one during.
No, I think she only successfully defended it one time. Every other time.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. 2016. What the frick was WWE thinking? Anyway, moving on from there, let's go to the match I do care about because much like Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, I love when two giant, capably athletic men who have not shown their full potential yet on both sides can bring a great singles match. And I think that's what we're going to get with this. Let's will you get that off the screen?
Yes.
Buddy, fucking hell. Let's talk about Moose versus Special Agent Zero. Moose going one-on-one with Special Agent Zero after getting clocked not once but twice within the last calendar year by this anomaly that has been the most MVP of the Secret Service to Mustafa Ali. And apparently has been the insurance policy for Moose to not shut down the system after what we saw at TNA, I gotta remember the damn names, Sacrifice. What we thought was going to be a one-on-one match with Moose and Eddie Edwards turned into a no match at all, even though the bell rung and Moose got the win via disqualification. After Special Agent Zero headbutted him into oblivion and assaulted him. We, of course, saw Moose try to get advantage of Eddie Edwards this past Thursday on TNA Wrestling during the contract signing, fending off the system. But now we're going to see Special Agent Zero one-on-one, and I believe will be his first actual singles match in his TNA wrestling career. The face of the franchise versus Agent Zero. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this. Get that off the screen. That is so fucking ridiculous.
10 out of 10.
Just shut up. Shut up, Charles. That being said, Walter, I'll start with you because I actually see you on the page. I can't with this. He's having too much fun. If you don't know the reference, folks, JJ will tell you during his turn. Walter, who you got in this grudge match here? Moose or Agent Zero?
I love Moose. I really do respect and everything, but I'm going with Agent Zero on this. I really think you got to do something with him, right? You show him as this badass and everything, and I've seen him go. So I think he's going to pull it off, and I wouldn't consider it an upset, but I think they're going to try to make it seem like it was an upset. But because, you know, he is a former TNA champion, so for Agent Zero to come out and be able to beat him, this might be Agent Zero's first singles match, because every time he was in a match, it was in a tag match, right?
Tag match, trios match, and by the way, that was outside interference. And of course, the last actual match he was in was Hardcore War, ironically enough, against System 2.0. And the System won that night. And Moose speared this man with a chain strapped to his chest.
Yeah, so technically this is his singles pay-per-view debut. So I think he beats Moose on this one.
All right, fair enough. So we got one for Moose. We'll go clockwise.
No, Agent Zero.
No, you got Agent Zero. I'm sorry. All right. So so Agent Zero. Okay. I mean, again, this is first. We don't know what he's capable of. Moose right now, the proverbial real big as one of the baby faces of TNA, a man all on his own. Alicia Edwards by his side. And shout out to my brother Paul here, of course, fellow TNA faithful, who's going to be enjoying the pay with me later with pizza. 90% are actually going with Moose, while 10% are going with Special Zero. So again, you're not alone in that. And again, I think it's the unknown of Special Agent Zero that is catering to that thought process. Of course, we did saw Moose get involved, like I said, this past Thursday on TNA Wrestling, coming along to Trey Miguel's aid after Moose hit Ali with a spear after fending off the Order 4. Because again, right now we're at the war with Order 4, and Mustafa Ali is the one that literally unleashed Special Agent Zero. So right now we got one Special Agent Zero. Let's go a different way this time. This time we're going to go to JJ. We're going to do top two and then arrow formation. JJ, what do you think about this? Do you got Special Agent Zero or do you have Moose? Again, Moose has done everything in TNA Wrestling. He's pretty much, I think at this point, Grand Slam champion outside the tag. Will you stop that? But go ahead and lend your thoughts towards this. Special Agent Zero here to neutralize Moose on behalf of both Eddie Edwards and Mustafa Ali. Can he get it done in singles action?
I just love the way I break you by showing that image.
I hate it. Damn you. Continue.
Oh, God. But I did pick Moose. I did pick Moose because I feel like this has run its course. I mean, the comedy aspect of it is just sheer gold. You know, I enjoy the graphic. I enjoy fucking with you. I enjoy your reaction to the image.
I know.
Yeah, we almost get Charles to pop out of his manhole when it comes up.
I didn't say the time, Charles. I didn't say it.
Okay, JJ. Okay.
Continue.
But yeah, I think this has run its course. I think Special Agent Zero, needs to go back to the Order 4. Goonies never say die. No, that wasn't a botch. I did that on purpose. I knew exactly what I was doing.
I'm still bought you on wrestling acumen by name. Continue. Damn you.
Okay, but it's not a botch if it was intentional.
Hindsight. You already busted me enough.
But
Continue.
but again, I've got Moose here because I think this has run its course.
All right. And again, Moose's end game is Eddie Edwards. Let's just call it what it is. He's not going to rest until he shuts down the system. How you shut down the system? You attack it at its core. And I'm not talking CORRE like Wade Barrett once led in WWE.
And I feel like this is the mercenary for hire of the system.
Oh, yeah.
So you get him out of the way, and then he can start going through Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, and then finally get to Eddie Edwards.
JJ, here's the
and
thing.
Cedric.
Here's the thing. You play Mortal Kombat, right? You know the arcade tower, the second to last boss? You could call Special Agent Zero the second to last boss because he's already beat everybody else in the system to get to Eddie Edwards. It was Eddie Edwards that negotiated Mustafa Ali back at Sacrifice for that insurance policy of Special Agent Zero to neutralize Moose. If nothing else, keep him away from trying to shut that system. He's like he's the firewall. Basically. Yeah, he's the firewall basically to the freaking motherboard. So literally,
he's Goro before you get to Shang Tsung. Got it.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Shout out to my video game players. So yeah, I'm going with
I may not be much of a gamer these days, but I did play Mortal Kombat back in the day. Startup Up Scorpion's Fatality on the Sega Genesis.
Fatality.
Yeah. So I get your video game reference here in the Mortal Kombat Tower.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. And again, stay tuned, folks, when we level up with Super Liable Gaming here very soon in the near future at Super Liable Studios. All right. So that being said, Special Agent Zero, Moose. I'll start here because I'm the point.
And I will say off topic here real quick. Shout out to Effie for responding to my tweet earlier today. Actually commenting back and replying to me.
Oh, nice. And again,
looking forward to going to Big Gay Brunch Saturday, 11 a.m. local time in Las Vegas. Walter and I will be there.
There you go. And again, folks, follow us on Studio 2024 for everything we're doing this upcoming week and learn more about that tonight on the Shenanigans, as well as our final promotion for Pull Down Mania with Ed and Santonio on the X. Thank you for that. All right. That being said, we got a Special Agent Zero, a moose, and a moose. That sounds too Canadian almost. But anyway, I think Moose is going to overcome Special Agent Zero because I don't think Special Agent Zero is going to keep him away from Eddie Edwards. I also really think that it's also going...
Oh no! That was I was afraid of having deja vu.
Bloody fucking hell! What's the Canadian accent versus a French accent?
I promise you, it's not me, Noah. My hands are on Pokemon Red.
I'll say Walter is innocent in this one.
This is what happens when you got two people that have too much power. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Okay, let's get back on track here, shall we? Before I have to go grab another Mountain Dew to calm my nerves, and I'm almost out on this can too. Emmanuel, you're next. Moose versus Special Agent Zero. What do you guys say regarding this match?
I might have to change my pick. I mean,
thank you,
because it might be Moose because I have him in the prediction Agent Zero, but. After this, is he good? He needs to break away from the Ali, and if he's gonna be a credible singles man, how far do you push Agent Zero as a singles competitor? Is this one of those questions? But I probably have to keep my pick because it is Agent Zero's first match. And it makes sense. Maybe he does break away from Ali and Oral 4. But it's one of those things I don't know, like how the storyline's currently going, it's not gonna happen. So that's why I kind of like I see JJ in your point of view, Noah. Like
Right.
there's, but for me, like I think, yeah, if it's his debut match, first singles match, you need to have him to win. So
All right. Fair enough. Charles, you finished this one out. Do you got Moose or Special Agent Zero? Think about this. We don't even know the order of the card. If Moose neutralizes Special Agent Zero, that affects so much more of this card when it comes to Mustafa Ali and Eddie Edwards, for that matter, being perfectly honest here, who, again, is our main event. You see why I did this as cause and effect, possibly. But what do you think happens here? Because, honestly, both these men might take each other out of the equation for the rest of the night.
Moose is losing this match. Special Agent Zero's winning. Straight to the point.
All right. So we got a secret weapon pulling the trigger and getting the victory here. And technically speaking, this is a normal match. So I guess if things get out of hand or disqualification happens, I guess technically that means Special Zero could win if Moose wants to break him versus beat him. Because again, Special Zero has not been pinned or submitted under any circumstance yet in TNA Wrestling. Put that in perspective. All right. Well, that being said, we've had a lot of food for thought, some unique takes, devil advocates, business acumen, some stuff that has broken me, and producers running wild, it seems. But, well, don't stop that!
You just had to say that right to his face. Right to JJ. You know very well this is going to go bad for you.
Hey, let's go ahead and get right into it, though, shall we? This is what happens. Shut the heck up! This is what happens when you have more than one producer running things, it seems. But let's go ahead, as we know there's one person in charge with the cornerstone of TNA Wrestling, and talk about our main event for the TNA World Championship. Mike Santana defends the gold tonight against the System's Eddie Edwards, the living heartbeat of TNA Wrestling. How ironic enough. Okay, the sound is getting a little bit crazier here. This almost sounds like overproduction, like freaking WWE and the 3D graphics. Okay, straight up, folks. We know Eddie Edwards earned this opportunity in the Feast or Fired briefcase. He has never cashed it in. He has now called his shot here for Rebellion after a little bit of a tip from Nic Nemeth. Where you thought Nic Nemeth and Edwards were both called their shot, Flop Dower took him out back at Sacrifice, and that's how we got the match where the Cleveland Browns might get their first big win in who knows how long. Regardless, that also means he probably won't cash it again because in defeat, AJ will probably stop him. So we're only going to focus on these two men. Mike Santana, of course, who's held this gold down. This is becoming the standard of TNA Wrestling, of course. And, of course, we know Eddie Edwards. He has literally been a heartbeat, heart and soul of TNA Wrestling. It was spoken very verbatim during the contract signing. While you left, I stayed here. And, yes, Mike Santana acknowledged, you're right, I left. But you know what? It made me stronger. I found my purpose. I found myself back here in TNA Wrestling. And let's not forget, it was at Rebellion when he returned home 2 years ago. And, of course, he neutralized Steve Maclin. And we were supposed to get him for Steve Maclin at Sacrifice, but due to injury circumstance of caution, again, God bless you, Alice Lane. Thank you so much, because we weren't for sure. We never got the match. So that is also still up for debate whether or not the winner of this match will owe Steve Maclin a shot. Although it was literally verbatim that Mike Santana called out Steve Maclin. Hell, it was because of that Steve Maclin, quote unquote, got his job back. We saw a little bit of an altercation this past Thursday on TNA Wrestling, and how, of course, the thing that really broke the camel's back was how the person with the bigger balls here and the smarter person of this crew was Alicia Edwards, leaving him for Moose. Damn. Regardless, Eddie Edwards, who is a former TNA World Champion, has not held this title, I believe, since the pandemic. So, do you think the System will take charge once again with the man that actually started in the first place under all the versions, or does Mike Santana spin his block, remain being on site, and maybe in the target to go after, with knowing there's still Nic Nemeth and possibly Leon Slater down the line? Let's go and get your thoughts towards it. We're going to have a brand new TNA World Champion, and whether or not the System or the Order 4 will be involved. Because again, Special Agent Zero, will he be neutralized? I don't know. Charles, you're going to kick things off. Do you got a brand new TNA World Champion?
No, I do not. I expect Mike Santana to retain, but I don't expect Nic Nemeth at all, because I'm expecting someone else to confront Mike Santana after this match.
Who?
Who? Well,
Who?
the man that is coming back to TNA. EC3.
Oh, jeez. I mean, he was unbeaten, unstoppable, unbreakable for quite a while, and he was one of the longer reigning Impact World Champions before the whole fallout. I mean, and he is in the building. We know EC3 returns tonight in TNA Wrestling. Oh, Jesus. Don't control your
Just
narrative.
don't bring your aunt. Don't bring your aunt.
I don't know if Dixie Carter will be too far away, to be honest with you. All right. Well, that being said, as far as this match goes, he has Mike Santana retaining. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Charles. JJ, 91% are actually going with Mike Santana retaining, while 9% figure the Edwards could actually win. EC3 name aside, what do you think happens with the TNA World Championship tonight?
I think Santana retains. I don't think we get an option C. I don't know if Nemeth calls his shots. You know, we are in his hometown.
Yes.
You know, to the point that was made, Santana retains. EC3 comes out, confronts, takes out Santana. Nemeth calls shot, becomes champion to end the show in his hometown. Not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
Not highly unlikely in all likelihood.
No, quote unquote Aaron Riff.
But as far as the match that we are predicting, Santana retains.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I think Santana retains as well. I still think there's more leverage left on his run, and while Eddie Edwards has not been champion since, here's that word again, pandemic. Sorry, folks. He is a former two-time Impact World Champion, beating world-class maniac Eric Yǐng in his last run, even though it was only for 45 days. But now, he won the elimination.
And back to the point that I made earlier when we were talking about the hotties.
Yeah.
While Nemeth has not been announced for WWE World yet, they are still making announcements periodically. Nic Nemeth, as world champion, the former Dolph Ziggler, could very easily end up getting added to WWE World.
Well, you know.
Whereas Mike Santana, I don't know if I could see him being added. But I could see the former Dolph Ziggler being added.
Yeah, well, he's been involved heavily in NXT with OTM, so you know it is what it is with that. But again, we'll see. Also, and again, he was part of the whole John Cena tournament, so yeah, I can see that name recognition, the show off.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. As long as it's not the other Nemeth. Anyway, you know,
but you don't want him to be there to tout the greatness of his big brother.
Thank you for saying that without me going into my impersonation. All right.
I will say that there is conversation about me and our Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger attending the Republic of Lucha show in May, which has brother versus brother announced for it.
Oh, there you go. Cheap plug. But again, see what happens. As far as tonight, Mike Santana retains. Retainment. Okay. Emmanuel, do you have a new TNA World Champion?
Yes, I do. Like I'm probably the only one who. So play the man card. Why not?
I don't have it loaded, bro. Sorry, I can't bring it up on the screen.
Dang it!
The things
if you had put in the private chat that you were gonna do it, I could have had it ready.
I bet you know everybody's gonna pick.
There we go. Noah has it ready.
The things I do for friends and deal with. Continue.
There it is. They should have appeared earlier.
Man card.
The only thing that would make that better is if that was a red Chase U sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, I know.
No. The answer is no. Continue, Emmanuel.
Nevertheless, like I said before, the first match when Cedric Alexander winning the X Division title, then the tag team title for the system. Eddie Edwards wins the title.
You've
credit?
got an Armageddon 03 happening, right?
That's
Yes.
exactly what I think he's getting to.
Yes, exactly. You see the whole system coming out of the back, raising their titles. The system takes over TNA.
Oh my
But that's
gosh.
my vision. Yeah, that's some booking. But if
What a sight. That's what that is.
yeah. If Alicia Edwards would have gone heel, can you imagine Alicia Edwards with the knockouts title as well?
No, she had more credibility than. Never mind. I already said my piece and all that. Continue. And she's never held it.
Yeah, it'd be a treat. So, like for me, like I think that's good. What we're gonna see in the pay-per-view. Now, for all we know, I'm really wrong. I'm not doing well in TNA predictions. So, what do I know? What do you think, chat? Leave a comment. Leave us
Let's encourage the chat to continue commenting on TNA Wrestling because I do love seeing that. Because again, TNA Wrestling, the letters themselves, they matter. This current regime, I have no idea. The jury is out. But thank you for that, Emmanuel. And again, we'll be covering
one more thing.
TNA Rebellion. Go ahead.
And one more thing before we sign off. At 8 p.m. Western time, we might see Noah sing. We might see Jay-Z sing. We might see Walter sing. Provide the money. Give these people the money. They
Show
need
me the money.
For Las Vegas.
There's Scrooge. I had it and I lost it. Damn it.
The freaking broken brain.
Thank you. Yes, that one. I was making a reference with that, and I had it and I lost it.
All right. Well, again, Charles.
So your thought went down the manhole?
Walter, I wasn't trying to go there, bro. Come on. All
right, I had that from JD and now Walter. Okay.
At least it wasn't me for once. And that being said, Charles, you have, of course, the last say now on this match. For so far, we have 3 for Santana and a new champion. And this will be, folks, his third defense. Technically second, since the other one barely friggin' leapt out of the opening gate. So it was 2 minutes long. Go ahead and give your thoughts, Charles. I mean, we saw what happened the last time Mike Stanley Edwards got in front of each other after a match versus during a match. Freaking Eddie Edwards got planted through a table. So go ahead, Charles. Finish this out.
Noah, you picked me first to go first.
Okay, yeah, I'm broken because I've been beyond broken by the
and I literally brought up Mike Santana's retaining.
I'm the one that didn't go, but I mean, if you
don't
know who I'm going for, then you don't know me.
About to say, yeah, that makes sense. So go ahead, Walter. Everyone's broken me so badly tonight. Again, I feel like TNA City Predicting is the most unpredictable City Predictings I host. Will you stop that?
Walter! I expect to hear Cho by the end of the night.
That's not me. I'm playing Fire Red.
No, I'm saying, Walter, you know what? I'm going Roderick Strong on this.
Walter!
Go ahead and say your prediction.
Santana, of course. That's the
okay, good. Thank you. I just want to make sure it's confirmed official on the air.
Out of all of us, you know I ain't going against my boy.
Clearly. That'll be the day, just like the day that Charles goes against Elijah. So, thank you for that. Oh,
not happening.
Never say never. So
JJ's never going to go against the king of the TNA, so.
Freaking Connor, crony.
Just saying, you got 2 people who are not going to go against their, come on. You should know this by now.
Yeah. You all are committed to your workers, and I value that outlook, all right? Like anything else. Just like I'm committed to more looking at the Rosemary Demon X saga more than most of the matches on this card to see how close they are to bringing the bunny back to life. We'll see more about that, I'm sure, on Rebellion. But that being said, folks, believe it or not, after this madness where my brother, Paul, hey, brother, has here waiting to play games and talk more TNA before I go live with you yahoos, or one of these yahoos tonight at 7. That is TNA Rebellion. So what are your thoughts, your opinions, your predictions, your outlook, your circumstance surprises? What does EC3 do to control your narrative or the future of TNA Wrestling? Let us know in the comments or in the chat as we get ready to conclude. And thank you all for tuning in. Again, if you have not joined the league, the format's in the chat, the format's on my X, and the form will be in the comment section of each of these streams at the respective YouTube channels. So please subscribe today. with that being said, let's go ahead and get the heck out of here before we get ready to call TNA. Charles, always a pleasure. I'm sorry that it wasn't me that insulted you regarding the gimmick that you now hold forever, but hey, we still appreciate you. Go ahead and tell where the people can find you.
You can follow me on X at Dudes All Grand, though.
Bloody hell. Why do you believe in uncredited?
And believe it, chase you!
Never. All right. That being said, Emmanuel, always appreciate you. Go ahead and tell where the people can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Emmanuel Dominguez. You can follow me on Instagram, EDM7224. You can follow my dorky sister, Ordine Dominguez, on Facebook. Ordine
Emmanuel's going to get butt kicked out. But I can see Emmanuel for a while.
Well, she's not here. That's why I could say that right now. Anyway,
she's gonna watch this later.
I was gonna say she's gonna watch this back, dude.
Anyways, Ari Dominguez at Instagram, ADM72244 at the X, and you can follow my channel, my YouTube channel, Interactive Games and Movies. Tomorrow we're gonna see Full Russian. Like that movie has a special place in my heart because like it's one of the two movies that we went with my grandparents, and it always brings a smile on my face. I always remember them. God bless them who are there both in heaven right now. But you know, it's a good movie. Like it's a place in my heart. That if you want to come after AEW's pay-per-view, you're all welcome. If not, it's okay. I'll be on my own commenting about the movie. Why it's so special to me.
That's Matthew Perry and Salma Hayek, right? That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Leave it to the filibuster to know that. And thank you for that, man. I always appreciate you. God bless you. Walter, as you're capturing Pokemon, so overrated, by the way. I believe I am on the call with you. Sorry, Paul. I said what I said. I stand by what I said. Go ahead and plug and promote your channel, bro.
You can catch me at Rage of Wrestling on YouTube, the Walter.Cruz.940 on Instagram, Walter Alex Cruz on X, and I really don't do the blue one anymore, but that's Walter Alex Cruz as well.
Yeah, well, those skies haven't been clear as day since who knows when. But nonetheless, thank you for that. And if they are clear, there's nothing happening up in them, not a single cloud. All right. Well, that being said, JJ, again, you know what's ahead for you, but go ahead and tell the people can at least find and connect with you. And then, Emmanuel, I see your hand. You can speak after he's done plugging his channel. Of course, there's Chase You graphic.
Damn right. The greatest faction in NXT history. You can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, YouTube, of course, Casa D18 Studios, X Casa D18 Studio, no S at the end on the X account. And then, of course, make sure that you're following the Simply Reliable Studios on X at SR Studios 2024, because that is where we make all of our big announcements. That's where we are streaming this right now, as well as on some of our respective YouTube channels. That's where Shenanigans will be this evening at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
That's right.
With Ed Laredo, ahead of our 4th annual wrestling karaoke stream.
Bloody hell.
As Emmanuel said, make sure you get your donations in for that super chat. You know, let us know in the comments how much you're willing to donate. We'll do the spins, and then you can send the money to whoever had to seen as a result of your donations directly. That way, Walter and I have a couple extra dollars in our pocket for Vegas. That way, Noah has some money to possibly go to an independent wrestling organization in his area some point this year. Or hey, maybe he's got an extra $10 to buy a pitcher of Mountain Dew next time he goes bowling.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, thank you for that, JJ.
And as always, believe in Chase University.
Exactly. Believe.
Never. I will never believe in that. But thank you for that, JJ. Hell, that's an insult to the Undisputed and so many other things. All right. And thank you so much, JJ. And thank everybody that's tuned in. If you want to further engage with me, I am the Simple Man. Follow me if you choose. I am Foster1916 on the X and on YouTube. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. And again, this is day 1 of Lord Help Me. 9 straight days of non-stop streaming daily for all things wrestling. Of course, we talked about earlier at in San Antonio, Ever Laredo. He will be with us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to finally, one last time, further promote the all-women's professional wrestling showcase that kills the entire festivities for all the wrestling in Las Vegas. Pull-Down Mania. Get your tickets today, or please subscribe to Title Match Network to get ready to engage in this incredible all-women's professional wrestling showcase where both the Title Match Network the Ladies Night Championship, and the Pull-Down Mania Championship will be on the line. Recognized names, of course, are many of the names you've seen us interview, including not limited to Rachel A., Brittany Blake, Leva Bates, Kaya McKenna, Jasmine Allure, Heather Lynn, Alejandra Quintanilla, and of course, most recently, Josephine Navarro. Again, thank you for everybody that's given us that time. And shout out to our BFF, Izzy Moreno, who's probably quadruple booked right now as we speak. Again, but that's Pull-Down Mania. It is April 15th. It is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get your tickets today. Become a member of Title Match Network to engage this incredible all-women's professional wrestling showcase. And as far
Pull-Down Mania is going to be on Triller.
Oh, it's on Triller?
Because it's part of the GCW collective. However,
Triller.
Ed did say in his interview, once it airs live, it will be up for replays on Title Match because that's where the Pull-Down history is, hence your confusion. But because they are part of the collective this year, they will be streamed live on Triller.
So live on
Triller. You have the Triller Plus package, which I think is like $8 a month.
Yeah, which is definitely a far better value than ESPN. But also to that point, thank you for that, JJ. So folks,
and you don't have the most recently added match there, which was going to be a pre-show match. Then because Higher Powers got their way, it's been added to the main card, and that is one Space Jesus Billy Starks versus Charlie Evans.
I'm very happy to hear that because I'm all about both those incredible female competitors. I also was unaware of that. So thank you for letting me know about that. All right. And there you all go about that. And as far as my simple agenda goes, you've all been, of course, engaging in simple predicting here. And I thank everybody that always continues to tune in or take part. Of course, the simple agenda continues. We'll be covering Rebellion tonight, and we got Dynasty tomorrow night. And then you see the first of a threshold of a week-long watch-along streaming schedule and city prediktings thereof, of course, for WrestleMania week. Again, the next city prediktings are literally for WrestleMania. So stay tuned for city predicting for WrestleMania Night 1 after Monday Night Raw. Will be 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this coming Monday, April 13th. And Night 2 will be Tuesday night after NXT, April 14th, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you see all the other times, respectfully, when it comes to everything else that I will be doing and covering live for Simple Alpha Studios here for all things professional wrestling, going all the way from WrestleMania into more of a Papa Gino, into the Raw after WrestleMania, etc., etc., etc. And as always, we talk about here all the friends of the studios. Subscribe and follow them today. She wasn't here, but she's batty. Follow our Canadian friend Ash at Batty for Wrestling. Don't be a dickhead. Again, for all your Shinyan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling coverage and outlooks, and all the bloody techers. We brought her name up multiple times. She is our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger. Follow her when it's wrestling time at Raiders of Wrestling, Datilla, on the social medias, as you see, of course, right there. And again, that's all I got to promote and announce right now before we go live, ironically enough, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Rebellion. But as always, I like to remind you and conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans of opinions with this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, no matter how much they annoy you. And just be alive in German professional wrestling too, it truly is as simple as that, you bloody loon. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning into another edition of City Predicting. Anything but I'm sure you, that's part of the fun. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bells, big goes live on demand on any of the channels that you are watching this on here, including the Simmons Brandon Foster 1916, Kazarian Studios, Rage of Wrestling, and SR Studios on the X. Hit the subscribe button. I assure you, the content, the creativity, the comedy, the craziness, the predictions, the booking, the business analysis is not going to let up anytime soon.
Please hit the subscribe button. We definitely need it.
Subscribe. That about to say, subscribe. And that's all I got to say for now. So in kinematic fashion, I am going to bid you all a fine adieu. And thank you, by the way, to all of you that engaged in the chat. Armin, Dave Scheffler, Nathan Banks, all of you continue to make this possible. You're just as important and special when it comes here, of course, to City Predicting. Because you all, of course, are part of the predictions. Again, thank you all so much. On behalf of Walter, Charles, Emmanuel, Arlene, who's probably going to kill him with a chocolate. And what's that about? And on behalf of the regular wrestling JJ Ones, I'm Noah Foster. I will see you all at the top of the next hour. And until then, as I follow
I got no.
What?
I just because Lola Bice finally gets the NXT title, and she hasn't updated the picture of Lola Bice holding her title. Where's your mommy pic, Walter? Where is it?
Give it time. Give it time. That's all I gotta say, Emmanuel. and I will say, as Noah signs us off here, don't leave the stream just yet, everybody viewing at home. As once Noah signs off, we are going to hit you with our WrestleMania week trailer and a special presentation that's been submitted to us by Noah Foster. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. The special presentation is a mini motion picture of sorts. Runs about 11 minutes. Little on the long side, I know, but trust me, well worth your time. So don't leave the stream until that is over. We won't be back on. Once that ends, the stream will end. So just heads up to everybody watching. Continue.
The things I do for friends on an annual perspective, I swear. And again, get your predictions in, folks. Make sure they're final.
That wasn't me that time.
No.
That was Walter.
No.
Secret Blue! Mega
No, not again. Not again.
Have a good night.
Not again.
And God bless these freaking producers. And we will see you next time for Cinema Dancing as we get ready to make an impact in Cleveland, Ohio for Rebellion. Stay tuned as JJ talked about earlier. I'm getting the heck out of here. Have a good night, folks. You all are freaking idiots.
I had to get
And now for a taste of things to come.
When do you think I could challenge Dylan?
you